As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Rock and Big Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Hell yeah.
Oh boy. Episode 100, we made it. Woohoo! Yes, sir. It's brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF Podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your official TCSF shirts now.
Wild hundreds.
And it's a hot commodity. Every time I go to the bar, I was like, can I get a t-shirt? I'm like, yeah. Go to the
Here's
website. Here's the link. Can you get stuff for free?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. As always, I'm Big Z, and I'm here with my boy, E-Rock. What up, E?
What's up, Z? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you are a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. And you can find us on Facebook at True Chicago Fans. You can follow us on Twitter at True Chi Fans and on IG at True Chicago Sports Fans. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. Go on over there, click on support, and you can subscribe for as low as 99 cents a month. Do you like the show?
I do.
Are you a fan?
I am.
Then tell your friends, and they will tell their friends, and we can all be friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it is episode 100. If you like the content, share it. You have 99 other episodes aside from this one to share with your friends and family. Anyone that likes sports. If you like the Cubs, the Sox, the Bears,
the Fire.
Bulls, I guess maybe you're fired after that. But look, if you like the show, if you like the content, if you like to come on every week and laugh with us, tell your friends so we can all laugh together. Listen, joining us today for episode 100, a very special guest host from the Shawn and Maya in the Morning from Sports Zone Chicago. Shawn Sierra's in the house. Welcome to the show.
The Superback's in the house, baby.
Oh boy.
What's going on, baby? What is going on?
Hey, E, I had to bring in a ringer. And yes, he's a Sox fan, baby.
I know it, man.
Outnumbered.
We've had more Sox fans on this show than any other. You know what I mean? Like
they respond to their phone messages, sir.
that's because no one else is calling.
Hey,
Silence.
What was the score of the Cubs game today, sir?
What was the score of the Sox game? The good team.
Well, it was a lot less than 18-4, bro. You had a football score.
What's going on, Shawn? How you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me on your special show, your 100th, your century show, and I appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, look, this is exciting for us. You know, last year when we had our 1 year anniversary, we did our party over there. You came through there. We had all of the people that we had on the show. We've had so many great guests on the show. Zambrano, Isaac Guillen Jr. I mean, like, there's been so many different people to come on the show, talk sports with us. Il Brown doing the
NFL breakdowns.
Our NFL Bears breakdowns the whole first season. We got a special drop in from him today as well. Talk about some Bears. So, look, this is an exciting time for us. And, look, Z, congratulations, brother. We made it to 100.
Yeah, it's weird to say that. It was really weird because we started with the Michael Wozniak interview, and that was a fluke because, you know, he responded to an Instagram story. We made a meme, the only man to beat Jordan one-on-one, and he responded. He's like, that's my dad. And we're like, bullshit.
Yeah.
So he starts sending us pictures. I'm like, oh shit, he really is. And then, you know, I literally had my iPad and I recorded the conversation. That was FaceTime conversation with my phone.
Yeah, because at the time, you know, when he responded to that, I was like, We talked about it before. I was like, we either got to do a blog or something, but we have to interview this guy and record it and figure out what we're going to do with it. And that was the very awkward sounding episode 1, but hey, I mean, that's how it started. You know what I mean? That's what it was.
I had no idea what I was doing with episode 1, man.
We made it to 100. We still don't know what the fuck we're doing. So.
This is why I bring a professional, sir.
How's the week been, man?
Oh, it's been nice, man. I get to wake up whenever the fuck I want now. It's nice. I get to go out and hang out with some friends I need to catch up with. A lot of cleaning around the house, a lot of dog hair. If you have a dog, you know exactly what I'm talking about. My entertainment center, man. And there's something that you guys would understand. You guys both like music. My receiver on my TV. Sound went out. My Techniques. I've had it for over 20 years.
That's a pretty good run.
Yeah, it's been a good run. You might want to put it out to pasture and go get another one.
Yeah, I gotta go get another one. I don't know. I was like, man, do I take it into the shop? Will they even have parts for it? It's 20 years old. Probably not.
No, they probably have parts for it because like a lot of those components right there are pretty basic. You know what I mean?
I checked the fuses. The fuses were fine.
Yeah, but you got
it's gonna be a resistor.
You got a resistor, capacitors. You got a lot of different things in there. I mean, a lot of times, even with like vintage audio, like it's really about cleaning or changing the capacitors on those, and then you're good to go. That's usually
flux capacitor.
Yes, exactly.
So you can go back to the future and listen to your 80s music.
This is all you do every day.
I know.
So I mean, it's been nice. The weather's been beautiful. So we've been able to get out, walk the dog, put the air in the tires, and hopefully I can get down to the lakefront and not get shot.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey,
that's out of your control.
You got to weave.
Bob and with duck and move. I'm just gonna ride it into the lake. It's probably the safest place to be, man.
But going into that lake right now might be a little bit safer for sure.
Yeah. How was your week, brother?
Look, man, another busy week of softball. First of all, on Monday, we took out the #1 team who was undefeated. Now, like I said before, my team has not been defeated. They got a loss on a technicality. Honestly, it was a technicality, which is bullshit. And that was the only team that they tied against, right? So while I was in New York, that's when they took that L, which was bullshit.
Where were you?
You know where I was.
No, say it again.
New York. You know where I was. New York. What do you want? Hey, I'm talking over here.
You sound like Anthony Fuentes now. Like I was in New York. I was in New York.
Yeah, New Yorker.
I was in Yonkers.
That guy was a piece of shit. Yeah, now I sound like. No, but so we went up there. We faced the previously undefeated River Grove Rockets, and we beat them by a score of 6-5. And let me tell you, you want to talk about like I am not one to bite my nails, but I'm down to my knuckles right now. That was like I didn't know what to expect out of that game. We had a game the weekend before, and we just told me, "So you girls, you gotta show up tomorrow," and we pulled it out. I mean, it was a tight game. We beat them, so right now we're basically tied with them. But then on Saturday morning, we go and play against one of the teams that we already beat early in the season. We beat them 18-3. And we barely win this game. We won 15-13, and it had to come down to like the very last. We played a full game because most of the time we don't get the full 6-inning game where you have the last inning that's undefeated, unlimited. But I mean, like they came out and they did their thing. But oh my God, you want to talk about a heart attack? I'm like, please don't tell me you're gonna lose after all this shit. You're gonna lose to a team with one win, a team that you beat 18-3. It was nuts. It was crazy. So 2 tight games this week, but they managed to pull it off. I couldn't be more proud of this team. I mean, they're very resilient. They go up there even after a win like that. They'll still kind of they kind of focus on, man, I wish I would have done this better or that better. But I mean, like you got these are 12-year-old girls. You got to boost them up, boost their ego, and like I said before, it's important to be the seniors sometimes, right? Sometimes you're a freshman, sometimes you're a senior. Right now they're the seniors, and they got to carry down, and we got like 2 more games before we go into the playoffs. We're probably going to get a bye with the record we have right now, so it's coming up soon, so we'll see what happens, man.
Well, you're going to have a lot of good weather. It's supposed to be 90s this week, so...
Oh, yeah.
Nice and toasty.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is that we had so many of these games that were rescheduled because of the rain. We had like a whole week's, like 4 or 5 games in a week that got rescheduled because of rain, so we're able to get these games in now. And look, I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's great to see these girls grow over the years that we've been coaching them, and they're just having a good time right now. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a lot of fun.
That's great. Shawn, you coach any girls softball?
No.
Okay. So just 2 of us. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a whole different dynamic as a coach of a girl. You know what I mean? And a girls' team, and being and
you got to watch your tone and how you talk to them, because you can hurt somebody's feelings really quick.
I did scare one girl the other day because she's happy, she's like smiling and shit. You know, almost like a dog that's happy. He's like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm like, pay attention. And then she kind of just kept staring at me, and I was like, hey, and her eyes went from like, oh, I'm happy, to like, oh shit, that big guy's yelling at me. But to be fair, I was on the outside of a
big ass ogre yelling at me.
Right. And I was on the other side of the chain link fence. You know what I mean? So she was like, "There's a gorilla in that cage. Get ready to get me." But I'll say it right now is that, you know, one of the most fortunate things that we have on this team, we have our head coach is female, and I feel like in women's sports, especially girls sports, it's important to be represented. We talked about that before about representation matters. So for these little girls to see someone who used to play youth softball as a coach now leading a team, I mean, I think that's important too.
Very important.
I mean, you know, look, it's a lot of fun, and you know, like we were talking about the summer. It's here, baby. If you need a fresh start, let me tell you about a great opportunity with our friends over at ACSI. With over 50 expert technicians in the Chicagoland area, ACSI offers a one-stop shop for telecom wiring. Whether residential cable installation, fiber to the home, or commercial structured cable wiring, ACSI is a proud partner of both Comcast and Astound, powered by RCN. Fans, let me tell you the most impressive thing about ACSI. The ACSI crew did their thing during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ACSI was awarded Hasia's 2020 Contractor of the Year award. The best part is that ACSI is growing bigger and better than ever. ACSI is now hiring for field sales technicians and project managers. Check out acsi.tech. That's acsi.tech and click on careers to apply today. ACSI is an equal opportunity employer.
Go get you a job.
Please go get a job. This week, we talked Chicago baseball with Shawn Sierra, and like I said before, a bonus guest. We talked some Bears football with Il Brown, plus stirring the pot and what you looking at. But first, this is the Big Three with Big Z.
Thanks, E-Rock. I'm Big Z, and you guys are not.
You always fuck that up. What
are you talking about?
I'm Big Z, and you're not.
I know, but there's two of us.
You guys. That's the line. You're not.
But there's two of you.
I understand how numbers work.
Oh, good.
You always fuck that up when there's more than one person. That's the line.
And I'm still leaving it in there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm Big Z, and you're not. So now for today's stories.
Now you know why I drink.
Yeah, well, it's not your segment, sir. All right, story number one. A man in a wig was detained after throwing a piece of cake at the Mona Lisa.
Say what?
Yes, a man who seems to be disguised as an old woman in a wheelchair threw a piece of cake at the Mona Lisa in Paris. There's a video posted on social media that shows the security guards at the Louvre escorting the man away this past Sunday as he spoke in French about the planet. Think of the Earth.
What?
That's what he said. Think of the Earth. But he said it in French, so I can't say it in French.
Oh, I can say it in French.
Parlez-vous français?
It.
Croissant.
Croissant.
Wee-wees, bonbons, and all that good shit.
Oh, man. The 36-year-old man who was detained and sent to a psychiatric unit, according to Associated Press. If you don't know, the Mona Lisa was painted by Leonardo da Vinci between 1503 and 1519.
Not DiCaprio?
No, wrong dude. That's the guy on the yeah.
Painted with like one of your French girls.
Fucking whores. This is why it's my segment, because I get to crack you guys up.
Oh, God.
All right, moving on. Story number two.
Hold up. What kind of cake was it? I mean, like
it doesn't say what kind of cake. I mean, you know, the French. It wasn't a baguette. It wasn't, I don't know.
Probably not tres leches.
Yeah.
No, probably not. Probably
He
not
hates
even
tres
dos
leches.
leches. I love tres leches. What are you talking about? I love that shit. I'm like, who doesn't like wet cake? Anyway.
Anyways.
Hey, I bet you that Mona Lisa still had that fucking smug-ass look on her face.
Cake.
Oh, the sound effects that will be going into this episode tomorrow. Oh, man. Anyways, I don't know what cake it was. It doesn't say. It just says he threw a cake at the thing. And it has a protective glass.
I'm so sick of that smug bitch.
Yeah, unibrown girl. All right. Story number 2. Calm down there, killer. Geico has been ordered to pay a Missouri woman $5.2 million after she contracted an STD in a car.
What?
A Missouri woman was awarded $5.2 million in a settlement from an insurance company, which is Geico, after contracting a sexually transmitted disease from her partner in his vehicle, which was insured by the company. This is what the court's documents show. The woman in Jackson County, was a Jackson County resident, says she contracted HPV from her partner, who was insured by Geico.
You know what they should do? They should give her $5 million. 5 what for?
$5.2 million.
$5.2 million in condoms. Batteries. There you go.
Yeah, here's some Trojan stock. How about that, bitch?
Look,
No, actual condoms.
Just ship her a box every week. Here you go.
You're not supposed to put the gecko inside.
Hey.
You don't supposed to let him crawl in there. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, in April of 2021, Geico denied coverage and refused her settlement offer and then they went to court. Like,
yeah. I mean,
and the court sided with her.
Anything. That's exactly. This is a wonderful country. This is a wonderful country.
That is one of the. Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of wild shit on the show, but that's definitely one of the weirdest ones.
I mean, you're having sex in a car.
Well, with
a dirty dude.
Clearly, dirty, dingy dude. I wonder if that dude ever had a penis attached to his arm.
Oh, what a callback!
Yeah.
What a callback! Shawn, did you hear about this story?
Comedy.
So this dude had some issue where they had to remove his penis, and they needed a blood supply, and apparently the belly wasn't working, so they attached it to his arm. So he had a penis attached to his arm.
Uh-huh.
And there was a time where he hugged his grandma.
And it hit her in the face.
So does it get wet, or is it just flopping around?
It's just flopping around. It's just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that'd be pretty weird if he got
excited.
He got erect.
Because it's not pretty weird that he has an arm, a dick attached to his arm that he hit his grandmother in the face with.
If we're going, let's go all the way. So is it circumcised or what was it? Just asking for a friend.
Oh, that's a spicy meatball.
Why wouldn't you use the other arm to hug your grandma? That's my question.
Well, maybe she was a robust woman. You had to use 2 arms.
Ain't nothing wrong with robust women, man.
Yeah, but it is if you need to hug her with 2 arms with a dick.
And a dick. All right, moving on to number 3.
Oh, nice and clean story.
Yeah, story number 3 is going to actually be a clean one. Title IX is celebrating their 50th anniversary. And if you don't know what Title IX and what it's done for women, read a book. Or, go on the internet and fucking read something.
So, Title IX, for those who don't know, is the most commonly used name for the federal civil rights law in the U.S. that was passed as part of the Education Amendments of 1972. It prohibits sex-based discrimination in any school or any other education program that receives funding from the federal government. This includes pregnancy, sexual orientation, and gender identity discrimination. So the 50th anniversary of that, making sure that all women, especially important for someone like me with daughters that play sports, right? I mean, it makes it possible, as we're sitting here watching the Chicago Sky game, makes it possible and makes it illegal to discriminate based on gender identity.
Yeah, it's a huge thing, especially we both coached girls. I've also been an AD, and I've been at a school where I had to completely turn around the whole program because they had way more sports for boys. And that's completely illegal, and they were just non-compliant. And I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. So me being a freshman teacher, I'm like, hey, every one of these girls in this room, they're all going to play a sport. What? Yeah. Pick a sport that you want to try out.
Right.
I don't care if we win or lose, but you're going to try something out. And then if you get good at it, then we'll move you up a level. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to have, 3 levels of softball, 3 levels of basketball, 3 levels of everything. Get the girls out there. Go play a sport. Stay off the street, and remember that you're a student athlete. And for me, it made a big difference to put all these girls into sports, and now see them going into college and playing these sports that they didn't want to play.
Yeah, I mean, look, my daughter's already talking about wanting. She asked my wife the other day. She goes, "Is there any professional softball leagues, and my wife was like, no, and I'm like, yeah, no,
Yes,
there
they
is.
are.
There is. I mean,
Jenny
it's not.
Finch.
Yep.
It's not lucrative. It's not lucrative by any means, but I mean, like, you know, and the teams you have much less teams, you know, than you do in the male sports.
What are the
National Fast Pitch League, is that what it is?
Yeah, you
yeah.
got the Chicago Bandits is the local team
Bandits,
right here, right
yes.
here. Yeah, we went to go see them play a few years ago, and we have like one of the official softballs, the diamond softballs they use here. But I mean, like, look, this just goes along with anything else. Like I talked before about representation, it matters until it doesn't matter. And now let's not pretend like women's sports still gets funding. You know what I mean? Like the men's sports do. Like you look at, I think it was
Soccer.
a story not too long ago about like the difference between either soccer or basketball. You see like the girls get like, you know, a fucking Bowflex and, you know, a box of cornflakes, and the guys get, you know, all this like weightlifting equipment. and all,
yeah,
that was not that long
yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
but
the
it was
college.
it was in a tournament. It was in the
NCAA tournament, yeah.
And they were upset about it.
And they should be.
And you know, here's the reason. They should be, because I know the women's sports, and don't get me wrong, women's college basketball is a generating sport, big time generating sport,
Right.
but it's not what it is for men.
No.
But so for that, you know, how much do you need? How much do you need for men's? Like, you have more than enough, you know, especially if it's a big time school, a Big 10, a SEC, a Big 12 school. Like, yeah, your football programs, your basketball programs, they need to fund all the other programs, you know, and give them,
equal access to,
yeah.
to equipment. And my thing is, this is like, you look at, when you talk about the tournament, I mean, it's a men's tournament and the women's tournament. Why is it that you can't schedule out times to have equal opportunity to use that equipment? Why does it have to be separate equipment? You know what I mean?
It's just dumb. And the biggest thing right now, like, I know you're not a big soccer person, but with the women's soccer, U.S. soccer team won their appeal to get paid as much as the men. Equal pay.
Yeah.
That makes total sense, because they're the ones that have been carrying the U.S. flag.
Oh, 100%. Well, 100%, especially in a
soccer.
sport like soccer for the U.S. and the international play and stuff like that. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, like, you know, men are babies when it comes to most things. And I mean, you know, if you're not married, you look into your mom. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it is. So you're either your mama's boy, or you're sitting there doing whatever your wife tells you to do. And that's right. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a fact. So I mean, like, I feel like a lot of times I feel like I respect the idea of what women can do more because I have daughters, because I'm, you know, my wife is there helping every step of the way, you know, leading the charge most of the time. I mean, shit, I had to watch the kids for 3 days and I'm lost half the time. I'm dead. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm like, how the fuck, where are we supposed to do? What am I supposed to do with this child? You know what I mean?
You're like, where does your wife get the energy to do it?
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, I get it now. I mean, I still want to take a nap. I'm tired as fuck. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate her even more.
NyQuil.
Yeah. Hey, oh shit. Hey, you know, a little whiskey on the thumb never
There you
hurt
go.
anyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Way to end the segment there, Larry, sir. I'm Big Z, and that's news to me. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you'll be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
This is Enrique Calderon coming to you from True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast. Come check me out on social media, Enrique Calderon Official on Instagram and Facebook. Check us out.
Y te lo dice
Enrique Calderon.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
This is 3 and Out.
Alongside with Shawn Sierra joining us today for 3 and Out, friend of the show, Il Brown is back to talk to us about some Bears football. What up, Il?
What's going on, man? Whole lot of new developments, new coaching staff, new culture, new season on the brink, man. I'm excited. I'm super excited, man.
It sounds like it's more like a spring training for you, right? You know, for me, a baseball head, spring training is like, yeah, I'm excited. There's so much hope, and you're like, oh my God, these guys are going to do so well, and these are expectations that are out there, and this is what it's like for the football heads.
Absolutely, man. It starts right up the pre-draft process for me, man. Soon Super Bowl's over, I'm like renewed with confidence and vigor and all that good stuff that comes along with being a Bears fan. You know what I mean? Usually to get stone cold stunned by the end of the season. But that's life as a Bears fan, I suppose, right?
Hey, but before we get too deep into it, why don't you remind our audience about your time with the Bears?
Oh, yeah, it was extremely brief, man. Spent some time with the Bears, the Colts, and I'm not even going to say it, that team north of the border.
Did you even cash those checks?
Actually, it was being on like the practice squad and stuff like that is an interesting process, man. So it's like a flat salary. It's not even league minimum, but all the per diem stuff is really cool. And you get this weird, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like kind of like a key to the city, or like a Willy Wonka golden ticket.
Okay.
Where you like go around town and nobody recognizes you and you don't want to wait in line. You could just be like, hey, I play for the Bears. And it's like, oh, come on in. And it's like, cool. Nobody knows my name, but it's all right.
All right, man. So, last season we kind of did our own thing here, but the first season that we were on the show, we had you on all the time breaking down every Bears game. And one of the things that I remember very distinctly was your displeasure with Matt Nagy, and I know you wanted him gone for a long time. I don't think, if I recall correctly, you didn't even want him back last season. So now that your wish has been granted, tell me, what is your initial thoughts and feelings about this new coaching staff and this new GM?
Big fan of Ryan Poles, man. I actually remember him, man, from the combine many moons ago. I actually had the privilege of covering the combine. He was still with the Chiefs, and he looks like an offensive lineman. I remember walking around and just being like, man, that dude has a presence about him. You know what I mean? He was really sharp. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I got to see him kind of like eavesdropping a little bit, seeing him, talk to some prospects and talk to some of the coaches. And I was like, wow, man, this dude, he may have a future as a GM one day. And lo and behold, look at him now. He's a GM, my favorite team. So it's a really good fit, man. He's a no-nonsense guy, which is what I like. Don't sugarcoat anything, man. I think the biggest thing I like when he came in is he didn't let the McCaskies jerk him around. He said, look, I'm not going to take this job unless y'all leave me the hell alone. Let me do what I do. Like, he set the tone out the gate. Nobody else has ever come in as a GM and said that. Like, he literally was about to get on the plane if they wouldn't have answered that question of his correctly. So he set the tone right away for me. That's a good thing. Coach Flus, he's a pro. Remember him back in his Cowboys days, man, when he was I think linebackers coach.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I remember him from the combine, man. Very intense guy. You guys are gonna love him. He is a throwback, but he's a versatile coach. He doesn't, you know what I mean? He's one of the guys that lets the offensive coaches do their thing, and he just enhances what's going on, in the coach's room, man. He's not one of those guys that's going to overstep his boundaries, man. He's going to let Luke Getty do his thing. And he trusts his coordinators. And this is going to be a similar culture shift, kind of like from I would say Dick Duran to Lovey, where Dick Duran had a ton of good players, kind of didn't know what to do with it, and then Lovey Smith came in and was like, hey, we're going to do it this way, and it's going to work. And it would have really worked if we would have had a better quarterback. So
Rex is our quarterback. Yeah, you know what I like what Ryan Poles has done as well. And you're right, from Jump Street, he said, listen, he goes, I'm doing the interviews now. And McCaskey, get out. In much nicer terms, of course. But for all intents and purposes, you don't know what you're doing. So get out, I got it. Him, like you said, taking control of that situation immediately gave me it. I perked up. I was like, oh, okay, you got a guy with some balls who, first time GM, standing up to, the owner of one of the owners of the franchise, the charter franchise in the NFL. I'm like, I like it. And then what he's done to this point, they have a plan, and they adhered to that plan.
Yep.
Whether we liked it or not.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Whether we liked it or not, and there were some things I didn't like, but whether we liked it or not, he adhered to his plan, and you got to respect the dude for that, big time.
So tell me about some of the things you didn't like, because I think a lot of people were upset about them getting rid of Khalil Mack, not re-signing some of the other guys that they let go. Allen Robinson. I mean, I wasn't crying about the fact they didn't bring back A-Rob, because he really didn't impress me as much. I mean,
non-existent last season.
Like, granted,
that's not his fault.
No, not at all.
He's never played with a great quarterback, but at the same time, I feel like he quit on the team a lot. You know what I mean? So I wasn't crying that they didn't try to bring him back.
About quitting, there comes a point when you're, there's a situation. Look at the targets. Like Allen Robinson was pretty healthy last year. And look at the targets he had. The ball wasn't going to him. He's your number one receiver. You paid him to be your number one receiver. You franchised the dude. He was making $16-18 million. So just by that alone, why is he not getting a bulk of the targets? I don't know. In the end zone, in the red zone, you didn't throw a ball up to him, which is his forte. No pun intended, former Chicago Bear. But that's what he does, and to not take advantage of that, that bothered me. There was a lot of things that the previous regime didn't do. It started for me year one when he didn't use Jordan Howard. And that was a huge red flag for me. And people are like, no, he's good. Like, yeah, he went 12-4, but there's something I didn't like the guy. So the biggest thing about Poles, I really wanted a number one receiver, and I understand people's argument for the opposite for.
They went defense.
They
went defense.
But my question is this: so you turn it over to give it to what type of offense? All right, get to have a puncher's chance. Give Justin Fields a one dude who give him an Alshon Jeffrey type, some guy who can go up and get it in the end zone from 35 yards in, go get it. Because I'm tired of the defense being phenomenal, getting the ball, getting takeaways, and then turning it over to an impotent offense, and they end up with 3 points. Let's go for the big one. Get one guy who
Who's that guy? Who's that guy on your wish list?
Well, there are a couple in the draft that I wanted, because now the salary is controlled. You're not going to pay him a big piece like the guy that I want now, but who was available? Pickens, not Pickens. Pickens from Georgia.
Okay.
And the kid from Chicagoland area, Alec. He went to the Colts. Pierce went to the Colts. Yeah. And Alex Pierce was a hands catcher. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't see a lot of stuff going to his body. It was all hands. Had great speed. So I wanted that because, listen, defense turns the ball over. We go up. Darnell Mooney, I don't think he's a number one. I think he's a phenomenal. I think he reminds me of an Alshon Jeffrey in the sense that he could be an all-pro number two, but not a number one.
I feel like they're trying to give the offense a try it out year to see what they're going to do, to see what kind of
development they can get with Justin Fields to know if they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, because I feel like on defense they have some pieces that they feel confident in, but they were filling the holes there. They're like the defensive side of the ball was almost complete. You had a couple of players that left that we all know, but the defensive side of the ball was almost complete. So let me fill the holes where I have the biggest need, so that if I do get the ball back to the offense, we can see what we have here, right? So that was my thing about them going after the defense, because we know they have offensive inefficiencies, but I'm looking to see what they're going to do with guys like Cole Kmet. What else they're going to do with a guy like Khalil Herbert. I mean, I think that what they're doing right now is they're showing you that we are going to be a hard-nosed, tough, smack you in the face team again. I mean, they brought over a fullback, you know what I mean? Like, when's the last time? You know what I mean? So I mean,
I got a chubby when I heard it.
So, Will, let me ask you, what do you think about the moves that Ryan Poles made?
I'm going to go ahead and agree with you, Eddie. I'm a fan of him, man, because this is clearly a rebuild. Like, let's make no mistakes about it, right? You trade guys like Khalil Mack, you let Akeem Hicks go. You're trying to stack draft capital. I think it's a step in the right direction, man. You're going to go into 2023 with a crap ton of cap room, and a lot of guys that will have shown you what they're made of with kind of a trial year, like you said, right? So, actually, I think Darnell Mooney, to me, I think he eventually can develop into a number one. He's real Stephon Diggs-ish to me, like kind of in that 5'10", 5'11" range, great route runner. I think he could develop into a number one, but you still are going to have the opportunity to really overhaul the offense. This year is about putting the pieces in place on the defense. Come on, this is the Bears. We're going to always have defense. Every team has like their knack for stuff. The Packers always have a quarterback. The Bears always have a stout defense. It's just what we do. So it's a culture change now where now we're trying to actually flip that to the other side of the ball to match up with, these top 10, top 5 defenses we're able to churn out. Seems like every 4 years, here comes another top 5 Bears defense, right? So I have a great belief in what Justin Fields is about to do this year.
Yeah.
This is a kid that is obsessed with being great. He's excelled at every level and puts the work in necessary to do so. So you give this guy all the reps, like we said, the Peyton Manning treatment when we first
right, and
all the reps.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get into. I mean, with Justin Fields, I mean, we saw last year, before the draft even happened, the Matt Nagy, experiment, whatever you want to call it. I mean, he basically they brought over Andy Dalton and promised him the starting gig right off the bat. And I mean, you hadn't even gone into the draft yet. You didn't know where you were going to really be, because I mean, we knew that. The one thing I'll say about Ryan Pace is that he had no qualms about moving to get where he thought whatever guy he wanted to draft, that's who he was going to draft.
He was a gambler. He was a big gambler.
I mean? So at the very least, he was going to go out and get who he wanted. And when he saw that he had an opportunity to bring Justin Fields to the Chicago Bears, he went out and did it. But the problem is that Matt Nagy already went out there and basically handed the keys to Andy Dalton, the Red Rocket, Red Rifle, whatever the hell you want to call this guy. And now
Little Red Riding Hood.
You know what I mean? Yeah, Little Red Riding Hood.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? And we even up until last year, we had people talking about, well, what about Nick Foles? What about Nick Foles? Nick Foles been a bum except for once ever in his life. I mean, come on. So I mean, the fact that now they're finally getting Justin Fields, and getting him into a position to succeed. Like we said, giving him the Peyton Manning treatment. He's getting every single snap in camp. What do you think about? We talk about a culture change. Do you think that this is going to give Justin Fields the best opportunity to succeed in this league?
Absolutely, man. You bring in an actual coordinator that knows what he's doing, and not a used car salesman like Nagy.
That's funny because that's the common term for him is used car salesman, because he just talked a lot of ish.
Sold you a bill of goods.
That's all he did.
Sorry. Yeah. You leave a lot with a lemon, without a warranty.
Yeah.
And so you bring in Luke Getsy, we bring in the wide zone offense. I love that they're literally shuffling the deck on the offensive side of the ball, even down to the O-line where, you know, it's alarming to see Tevin Jenkins running with the twos. Byron Jones was getting the look at left tackle with the ones. They're trying to see who can we use going forward so we don't have to spend money on this O-line position in 2023. I'm thinking Tevin Jenkins is going to end up at right guard.
It's a common thought, yeah. But he's projected as a guard coming into the league by a lot of GMs. One of the things that I think first of all, I want him to be a tackle, you know. And here's the issue: there's a way. Like Tevin Jenkins plays with this nasty disposition. You know, he's trimmed down. You know, thank you, Juan Castillo for bulking him up to 380 pounds or whatever the hell you did him and Borum. And so now he's bulked down. Now he plays with a nasty disposition. It's me being a former running back in my career. I love being behind.
No problem.
This guy can definitely move, can move people, and I think that I want either right or left tackle. I'd rather have him. But I understand what you're saying, because if they can find a guy who can play left tackle and bump him in, I'm okay with him and Borum being on the right side, or just him being at the right guard, because you're going to see what this guy can do. People forget that Coach Flus just came from Indianapolis, and if you don't know about Indianapolis, he just led the league in rushing with Jonathan Taylor. Okay,
they're going to run the ball.
Yeah, and if you don't believe that, you don't sign a fullback unless you're running the ball.
Yep,
you don't waste a roster spot on a fullback unless you're running the ball. So they're going to run the ball, and Tevin Jenkins, Larry Borum, they're going to do what they excelled at in college, and that's move people and do it in a nasty way, and that's what I'm excited about. And I just hope that he's a tackle, but if he's a guard, I'll be okay with it too.
Indeed, because what end up being the shuffling of the deck is you're going to kick. I'm still thinking that once they put the pads on, Jenkins ends up at right tackle. But if they decide to shuffle the deck, maybe Byron Jones is a little better than we hope for, which is a plus.
Yep.
You can always interchange right guard and right tackle, because that's the side you're running the ball to. One of the knocks on Jenkins coming out of college was his short arms, and when you pass setting, having short arms is kind of hard to deal with those guys coming off the edge with all that athleticism if you can't get your arms on them. Now, moving them in the run game is no problem because you're firing off. But when you pass setting, that could be problematic. But Tevin Jenkins also is a pretty good athlete as well, so I think he can compensate for lack of having long arms, especially with the recent weight loss, being able to adjust and pass set. I think going forward though, we have some nice pieces on the O-line. We're extremely young, and you just want to see guys literally playing in the best position, because keeping Justin Fields upright is priority number one, right there. You won't be able to tell what this kid can do if he looks like Cleveland every game.
And that was the reason why I wanted that number one receiver, right? Because the thing about it is that I need somebody that they have the game plan around. Darnell Mooney could eventually develop into that guy, okay, and if he does, great. I need from Jump Street. How are you going to truly evaluate Justin Fields? You look at every great quarterback except Tom Brady, because he can do whatever the hell he wants. They got a number one. They have their dude. Patrick Mahomes had his dude. Actually, he had two. He had the cheetah and Travis Kelce. So give him that dude. That's what I wanted. That's the only thing to this point that has bothered me about Ryan Poles. Everything else, I give him an A+ for. I love the fact of him putting guys on the second team. Jalen Johnson, Tevin Jenkins. Why? He's creating a culture. It's very similar. And I don't know where you went to school, but after my junior year, I went to Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. Okay. And after my junior year, we went 11-0. My coach took the gig at Maryland, so we had a brand new staff come in. Well, brand new staff, they're trying to
evaluate.
Yeah, but the seniors are basically a lost cause for them because we're not going to buy into it because we got 3 years or 4 years, whatever you are, of the other guy. They really couldn't care less. So they kind of move you around. And this is kind of what they're seeing here, what they're doing with these guys. Like, okay, they know Jalen Johnson's good. I mean, they don't have they know who they got. They've watched film already long before this. They know what they have. So they're saying, okay, how mentally strong are you? Are you gonna pout like a little sissy if you get demoted to second team or with the second team, or are you gonna play? Or are you going to really come out? He's finding a character, and he's building a culture. Like, okay, I need guys that, whether demoted or whatnot, they're about the team. They're about playing their best. So I'm okay with what he did. I am more than okay with what he did. I love Jalen Johnson going to second team, but he's back in the first team. Tevin Jenkins, he's back with the first team. It's a mind game right now. He's trying to find out who's mentally tough because the NFL's tough. Football is a tough game, and you can only go in with guys who are strong mentally. Okay, because you played ball, so you understand. There are certain guys in your team, especially at the high school level, that you didn't want to be them and have to make a decision in a pinch. Like, don't run to him or don't make. But then at another level, you play with guys like this dude. They go to him, we know what's up. So I just think it's more of a mind game, and I love it.
So I had a quick question because we get the offensive side of the ball right here, and I want to pick his mind a little bit. We have a wide receiver core of just Darnell Mooney, and that's the only name that we know. Everyone else is a big name.
We know Pringle from watching KC. I mean, you know what I mean?
And whatever news came out of him, of whatever he did, right?
Yeah, I mean, but he's like, because KC has been so good, we recognize that name simply because he played with Mahomes, right?
Well, do we trust his wide receiver core is the question. You have Mooney, Pringle, and Jones. Those are on the top
Jones.
At this point, I would say no because they're unproven, and Pringle's the number 4. So the potential's there for him. Is he a great number 4 and not a good 3, 2, or 1? We don't know because he's only been a number 4, right? Darnell Mooney, number 1 last year. Okay, he got 1,000 yards. I see again. Me personally, I think he could be a great number 2. EQ St. Brown.
Yep.
He got on the bad side. The reports are he got on the bad side of the diva up there north of the border, and when you get on his bad side, you're done.
Getting the ball.
You're damn right. You're the black hole. Like never. It's not going your way at all. So I think, coming out of high school, the dude was a stud. Notre Dame, the dude was a stud.
Yep.
So why he didn't perform? Not like he didn't have. Not like he was given a chance. So
no.
This wide receiver core, to answer your question, I can't trust it right now. I have to be.
You can't trust him, and you're right because it is a proven year. But that's what I went back to before. Everyone on the offense is in a proven year right now. I mean, there's not who David Montgomery. I mean, he's been in the league for 2-3 years.
There's Herbert
and Khalil Herbert. I mean,
two veterans, right?
Herbert with 1 year under his belt. But I mean, you look up and down the roster on the offensive, offensive side of the ball. There's one player that came from Green Bay on the offensive line that has really any experience in it. The whole starting offense is guys that have to prove it, and that's why I'm not mad at them not going after a big name or a very high draft pick on the offensive side of the ball when you look at a receiver or something like that. Because hey, I'm not going to invest in this unless I know that Justin Fields is that dude. I need to know what he's going to be able to do. You talking about EQ St. Brown coming from Notre Dame, coming from Green Bay. I mean, he never got a chance because Aaron Rodgers only throws to who he wants to throw it to. I mean, we know that. You know what I mean? Cole Kmet, another guy coming out of Notre Dame.
He's got to step up. He went to tight end 2 years in a row, so he should be really good.
Yeah, I mean, but he's got – look, he has all the potential in the world, but we didn't see that under Matt Nagy because Matt Nagy has no idea how to use a tight end in the
No, he had him on the running. I mean, he
had him. You know what I mean? So he had all these bullshit moves. So, you know what I mean? Look,
I hope I never see a jet sweep with a tight end
ever again. Ever on 3rd and 1 to the wide side of the field. Like, come on,
with the receivers, man. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people because you're in a situation where you got guys who are emerging but playing behind guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there is a such thing as target share, right? When you're
Tom
playing
Brady.
like you're Byron Pringle, you're playing on the Chiefs. Travis Kelce, he's getting 130 targets. Tyreek Hill's getting 100 targets. So for me, a guy,
Cole Hardeman
I go inside the numbers. Like So I see a guy, right, Nicole Hardman, and then, you know, they throw it to the backs out the backfield a lot. You see a guy get 45 catches, get 6 touchdowns, put up, you know, decent yards after the catch, things like that. I wonder what a Byron Pringle can do with 90 balls coming his way.
Mm-hmm.
Balls. But, you know, you get this guy 90 targets, you may end up with a 1,000-yard receiver from this guy. And then Valence Jones, he's going to get a nice amount of touches and a nice amount of the target share, as well as Cole Kmet. So you're going to see an uptick in production where at the end of the season, because of the style of offense they're going to run, they're going to really simplify this thing for Justin Fields, where they're going to be like, okay, this guy had 136 quarterback rating by moving the pocket, things like that, using his, you know, his skill, his natural ability to, you know, you have to do that. And that's what it was so frustrating watching Matt Nagy coach last year, because it's like, hey, you're having success with play action, you're having success with bootlegs. We get 19 of those for the whole entire year. 19. Wow. That's insane.
That's arrogance and ignorance.
And then you don't help him
absolutely
with running the ball. I mean, you remember when
you don't help him with running the ball.
The offensive coordinator Laser, when he took over 2 seasons ago, the last 4 or 5 games, all of a sudden, you know, that's what got Montgomery 1,000 yards, and you know, you're running the ball, and all of a sudden you're like, well, wait a minute, you just run the ball. That's obviously you can tell. And if you don't think that helps a quarterback, you're out of your mind. And then, you know, the ability to bring an eighth, have to bring somebody in the box, and now it makes it easier for the quarterback. And not just to mention the attrition that it happens to the defense when you just run the ball down their throat, and he refused to do that.
Absolutely.
And now imagine with a guy like Justin Fields, if you do that, now you pull that, and now he bootlegs or he waggles or goes naked. Man, now you got him on the edge. Dude, there's so many different things you could have done, and that was the issue with him, is that, you know, again, they saw it with Jordan Howard. His system, he wanted his players to fit his system and didn't adapt his system to his players' skill set. And that was because I know
the best coaches are able to do that.
Yeah,
the best coaches simply are able to do that, man. And I count it like I'm like a psycho when it comes to watching film. Right, 47 times Matt Nagy rolls the Bears offense out, empty back set, 5 wide on first down.
Oof.
And I'm like, this dude is doing this with a rookie quarterback. You're literally begging for 2nd and long and 3rd and long. You're begging for it.
It got to a point where it felt like he was trying to sabotage the team because he knew he was,
it looked like sabotage
Yeah.
after a while. I was like, you know what? This dude, he knows he's on his way out. He's giving the big middle finger to the whole Bears organization and the fans.
On the way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And,
right.
Same thing with the Peters playing the left tackle instead of Jenkins or Borum in the last couple of games. Like, dude, this guy is not part of the future. Why is he getting reps? You know, that was just a true FU, middle finger right to the fans, to the organization. And it was just embarrassing to be a Bear fan for that last year.
So, Will, last football question for you. I mean, we talked a little bit about what they did, getting rid of some of these marquee names on the defensive side of the ball. One guy that too much of the Bears fans' chagrin is still on the team is a guy like Eddie Jackson, but he's not going anywhere until, you know, either run out of what money they're paying him or, you know, he all of a sudden becomes some amazing player and they got rid of him. But, you know, we're looking at what they did with Hicks. He's no longer on the team, looking at the fact that they traded Khalil Mack. Last guy that's really been productive for the Bears in the last couple seasons is Robert Quinn. There's been a lot of talk about should they keep him, should they let him go, should they trade him and try to get whatever they can for him. What do you think about what's going to happen with Robert Quinn, and should the Bears keep him?
You know, they're in a win-win situation when it comes to Robert Quinn, man. They already let you know what they're doing with the front 7. You know, you brought Muhammad over. You know, Travis Gibson is going to get every opportunity to show that he's a stud. I believe he's going to take another step forward. If you keep Robert Quinn, then it just enhances the rotation. If you're able to move for some picks, then you're able to maybe draft this replacement next year. or maybe a kid like Dominic Robinson emerges, and you got something there. They got a lot of the type of guys that Coach Flus knows how to get the most out on. They were, of course, running the 4-3 now, so at the defensive end position or the edge, whatever you want to call it. I'm not really worried about the front seven, man. But as far as Robert Quinn goes, I think he's getting the itch to want to go to a contender. Wouldn't be surprised if he plays this year and then is, maybe shipped out as part of a draft day trade, or might even just flat out get released. But I can't see him eating that kind of cap money. So
$8 million.
I'm thinking that they'll probably trade him either during camp, or they'll let him rock and do what he does. And I believe in selling high. The dude with 18 and a half sacks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting him out of here now.
I think you'd have a little more leverage at the trade deadline, because you're going to get some teams who are contending, or who have
trying to fill injury.
So I think with that, I think you trade him at the trade deadline. Again, now you can be a little more aggressive with what you ask for, because look at the Cubs. They traded their stars, Gleyber Torres for Aroldis Chapman back in the day. You have that leverage, and I think that'll be beneficial, especially if he has 8 to 10 sacks.
He's on fire.
But aren't you gambling? Aren't we gambling if he doesn't have a spectacular year, then his value is a lot lower, and you're not going to get what you expected. So do you, like Will said, sell high right now that we're still backing him on 18 sacks, or do you wait till he plays, or he potentially can get hurt or doesn't have a great season? Now his trade value is a lot less. So
you still keep him. And the fact of the matter is he's still on a contract, so you still have him. And remember, last year or 2 seasons ago when he first got here, he was hurt. Which is why his production was god awful.
Right.
So last year you see him. We had visions of him and Khalil Mack with multiple meetings at the quartterback last year.
Pancakes.
But then all of a sudden Khalil Mack was hurt. So you saw what Robert Quinn can do when he was hurt, and for all intents and purposes, he played the 3/4 of the season without Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
So it's not like you had to focus on anybody else. He was being double, triple,
And without
quadruple
Hicks.
teamed. Without Hicks as well. So you see what he can do. So a healthy him, by the time the trade deadline comes on, if he's getting close to 10 sacks, man, you can ask for a lot, because you say, hey, listen, look what he's done in the last season and a half when he's healthy. You're a contender. You need, there's one piece. You need that pass rush specialist. Bingo. Here you go. Proven, all-pro, NFL sack leader. What do you got for me? First round, or a second and third, whatever it is. I don't think he'll get a first, but he might get a couple. He'll get a couple of picks, maybe a second and third, a third and fourth, a second and fourth, whatever. But now you just, like Brian Pohl said, he wants to build through the draft. Well, guess what? You're getting a lot more draft picks. So me personally, I'd hold him to the trade deadline and see who comes a knocking, because if they're going to be contenders and people who need that one piece, then maybe their defense is kind of okay, but this guy will put them over the top.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, man. You can sell high now, go at the deadline, man. If you're able to get a second and third for him, that's an incredible fleece job.
Because it's the last year, right?
Oh yeah, and is it at the age he's at? Yeah, that's an extreme fleecing. But teams get desperate when they're making the Super Bowl run, man. Especially if they got aging personnel, man. They like, hey, this is it. We're going after it now before we blow this thing up. You may be able to, fleece a team for a second and a third, or a second and a fourth, or something like that. And hey, you seeing guys all the way out to the 5th or 6th rounds coming in and starting.
Mm-hmm.
So draft picks are valuable. And I also like what Poles did, acquiring a crap ton of extra picks during this year's draft. Like every time I looked up, he was moving back, wheeling and dealing, adding a pick here, adding a pick there. I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's doing in the war room, man. So
yeah, he does.
Absolutely. I'm intrigued and I'm excited.
All right, well, I want to say, welcome back to the show. Thanks again for coming on and joining us for episode 100. When we first started in the football season, a couple of years ago, you were a big
big part of the show, and we look forward to working with you again. Why don't you tell our fans what you got going on with your new show?
Yes, sir, man. So we're doing Bears analysis and play breakdown, film breakdown on our YouTube channel, Sibling Rivalry Media. All things Bears all the time, man. Right now, I'm in the process of destroying Matt Nagy. So if you can't stand Matt Nagy, you definitely want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, man, because, oh, man, just going over the film from last year, it's some atrocities that you wouldn't believe. Like stuff that slipped through the cracks, and I'm like a film psycho. So when I had more time to really go back and do it, I was like, this dude literally was trying to get fired before halftime some of these games.
Yeah, he was.
And they just wouldn't do it. I would have walked them out of Soldier Field dead in the middle of that Packers game, week 6. I would have walked them the hell out of there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you know.
With police, like, get him. He's stealing money. He stole from us. Stole from Chicago.
Yeah, his play calling, his inability to set up plays, his lack of protection against Justin Fields, and basically putting Justin, hanging him out to dry. It really damaged him. I mean, the only good thing about it is that Justin Fields is really he's up. He's obviously knows the speed of the game now. That's not going to be an issue. His whole rookie season's over, and so the thing about being a rookie, there's a lot of unknowns and first times. And you got to work. You got to navigate through that. And now he's done it. Now he's going to come back with the speed of the game, under control, and hopefully a much better offensive coordinator, which I think he's going to have. So it's, a lot wasn't gained, but a lot was gained for him. And it's, I know this sounds kind of like an moronic statement, but yeah, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to him just like you this season. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, man. Last thing I want to add about Justin Fields, man, he did a lot of things where pre-snap, he was diagnosing, right? And he was picking his read pre-snap. Hook or crook, I'm going to this guy because I don't trust the offense. I don't trust my coach. So there was times where he would be trying to look off safeties and linebackers and stuff, and they weren't even looking back at him because he knew already, like, look, this is about the only guy on this offense I could trust. I'm going to him. I'll live with the results. And toward the end of the season, you could see him kind of doing his own homework on, okay, I can't survive in the NFL doing that. And I think it all clicked for him during the Steelers game. The Steelers do this wonky thing where they'll do a cover 3 shell and bring the free safety down and drop the other 2 safeties in the cover 2, and it looks real wonky. And
so kind of like
Justin
a robber,
Fields,
like a robber situation.
It's exactly what a zone dog robber, whatever you want to call it, right? So they'll bring him down, and in the first quarter, Justin Fields, he didn't see it, but by the fourth quarter, he was tearing them up. And then the next week, they copycat league. Hey, this was working. We're gonna try it on him. The next week they tried it. He tore up Green Bay, tore him up with that same look. I said, okay, this kid knows how to adapt, and he studies film relentlessly. So that was very encouraging for me to see him do that with Matt Nagy literally trying to sabotage.
Despite
he was doing that shit on his own.
Despite him. Well, he got the highest. The people made a big thing about the IQ test of one of the tests. It was a different test of measuring your football IQ, and this dude got the highest score of all time, if I'm not mistaken, and that says a lot. And you see that. When I heard that, I'm like, okay, just that in addition to watching him at Ohio State, like, okay, look, dude, I know this year is shit for him, but man, let him get some pieces around him, and let him get him a good coach who can coach him. Yeah, this dude is it. This dude is he's about business, man. And let me tell you, it is going to be fun watching him. And again, this is why I wanted that. And I know we're probably going a little over, but dude, this is why I want the Bears to go trade for DK Metcalf.
Yes,
like
we're on the same page right there, man. I was about to say it.
Dude. Let me ask you this: Would you trade next year's number 1 for DK? Because
I don't think it's necessary. You know what? They're going to try to get as much as they can. So that's tough. I look at it like this: DK is 24.
24 years old.
Oh yeah, you
and
run that.
It's,
You run
it's
that.
It's not a question mark with him at all.
None.
You
All
trade-
pro.
You trade for him, he's your first round pick.
Bingo.
Next year, and I can live with that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
because you ain't gonna find one receiver. Even if a guy comes out with hype, you don't know if he can do it at that level. This guy's done it at that level. This guy's a Pro Bowler. This guy is 6'3",
and his
230.
bear and his daddy is a bear anyway. So
Dad was a bear, yes.
run it all day.
Terrence, yep.
Yes, sir.
Terrence Metcalf.
Man, I'm telling you, Ryan Poles, go make but one.
Yes.
It's one-on-one. You first round draft pick for DK Metcalf, and then you sign his ass. You sign him for as long as Justin's on his rookie deal. So you got 4 years left. You got 3 with his, and then plus his extra, the 5th-year option. So you got 4 years with him. He wants the money, good. You give him the money, and then after that, he's gone. And now, if you got to pay Justin, you pay Justin. But man, because that dude, what does that do? You got him. You cannot bring a spy for Justin. Okay, you got Darnell Mooney, who's another 4-3 guy going the other way. You got DK Metcalf going post, going corner, going goes, going slants. And then don't forget with the concepts that they're running with the Green Bay, with the West Coast concepts, they're running the mesh concepts. You get Velus Jones underneath. You get Velus Jones underneath or Cole Kmet underneath, and you can't bring anybody else down because you got DK Metcalf going over the top.
Field, yep.
Man, there's a whole bunch. And then you still got a quarterback who runs a 4-4.
Yep.
And you got a quarterback so that's why go get DK to A.
See,
man,
you're 100% correct, man. Having weapons makes you second guess your film study because it's hard to trust the film when this guy is in front of you and the hype is real. This guy is really a 4-3 guy. This guy really is physical. This guy really is a route technician. That changes what you study for. Like, you play ball, man, and it's like, okay, I see this guy on film, and then he's every bit of what you thought he was on the film, and then some. It changes your approach on Sunday, man. Like, you're not going to go out there and it makes you not trust the coaches as much. You're like, look, coach, you're not out here trying to backpedal against this 240-pound dude running a 4-3.
Who gives me a flipper and knocking me off? Create a separation with a flipper.
Yeah, man. Like it makes you second guess some things, man. So I feel like if they're gonna pull the trigger on that, it'll happen during camp.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be surprised too if they go out and add another offensive line piece as well.
I wouldn't be surprised they had 3. He's trying to find something that he's throwing everything against the wall to stick. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. But man, you give me DK.
Can't go on the week 1 with Dakota Dozier starting. That cannot happen.
Hey, you give me DK. Ryan Poles gets us DK. I'm saying I'm my win total for this. I'm not a betting man. But I'm thinking about going to place a bet, an over-under, because if they do get him, that line's going to change big time. Big time. I think the Bears will win 10 to 12 games if they get DK.
The schedule, you add a weapon like DK Metcalf, and here's another thing that you can't underestimate, and this is why Matt Nagy was able to sell used cars to Chicago. You got about 8 to 10 weeks before the league catches up with you, before there's enough film to say, okay, this is what these guys are about.
Yep.
With a coach that's smart as Getsy is, because Getsy is really the reason why Aaron Rodgers gets back-to-back MVPs, because he did not buy in initially when who was the Packers coach?
LaFleur.
Yes.
LaFleur. He didn't buy in.
He did not like him.
Luke Getsy got him to buy in. He was like, look, man, you're not going to get sacked as much, and you're still going to have the same production. And he showed it to him, and it went out and happened. So, and Aaron Rodgers isn't half the athlete as Justin Fields.
Nope. He's athletic, but not on. It's a different.
Not Justin Fields athletic.
I mean, different worlds.
Justin Fields is different.
And
you know what I mean?
Look,
So,
for those who really want to know like all the background about Justin Fields, go back and watch QB1 and watch him back in his high school days when he was getting ready to commit to Georgia before he ended up at Ohio State. That's when you can really see his development and see what he's about, and he's been about that for a long time. So I think right now, we hopefully we satiated some of the Bears fans' thirst to figure out what's going to happen with this team. Will, before we let you go, let our fans know where we can all follow you on social media.
absolutely, man. YouTube, Sibling Rivalry Media. No weird spelling there. and everywhere else at Ill Brown. ILLBROWN. That's it.
Awesome. Will, once again, thank you for joining us for episode 100. We're going to be talking to you real soon when this Bears schedule and everything pops up.
Yeah, man, let's do it, man. I'm willing to hop on anytime, man. So let's definitely do some breakdowns this year too, man. I want to come through and show you guys the footwork cleaned up and I want to see all that stuff.
I want to see E line up right across from me. That's what I want to do. And I want to be holding the camera.
Hey, look, man. Hey, I am power washed at this point. But hey, if the Bears want me, man, I probably could go out there and give them about 3-4 snaps a game, man, for my body falls apart.
Those would be the best plays of the game, man. I'm telling you.
I will.
Nice meeting you, Will. Nice meeting you, big dog.
All right, man. No doubt, man. Hey, 100 more, guys. Let's keep it going.
Appreciate it, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Indeed.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Welcome back to the TCSF Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z with today's guest host, Shawn Sierra.
Yeah.
This is The Bottom Line.
And that's the bottom line. In this segment, we discuss the biggest Chicago sports topic of the week. And this week, once again, yes, because it is summer, we're talking Chicago baseball. So, E, what's going on with the Cubs? Good job. All right, let's move on to the White Sox.
Wow. Hey, just because they are fucking terrible doesn't mean we get to skip over them. I mean, it actually
that's what we do to other teams.
Well, yeah. Teams that don't fucking matter, like the Fire. That's what it is. Nobody cares about that shit. Hey, don't forget, you watch soccer. Everything you say doesn't fucking matter anymore. But look, I'll tell you, the Cubs suck. Yeah, that's about it. Look, Cubs got their ass spanked on the first game against the fucking Yankees because the Yankees always beat up on them. It's like 100 of the last games that the Yankees played against the Cubs that they fucking just got destroyed. But I'll tell you what, in that second game, they fought. Close. They went to the extra innings, tied 1-1.
That would cost me money.
You know who won that game because it wasn't the fucking Cubs. You know what I mean? And then today's game on Sunday, this got mollywomped again. It was like 175 to -4. Anyway, so whoever the fuck is out there working the Cubs Twitter needs to be fired.
I saw that. Shit was hilarious.
Because very early in the game, there was a pop-up. It looked like a home run. I thought it was a home run.
It was loud enough.
Everyone thought it was a home run, and it wasn't. Right? It was caught by Christopher Morel at the wall right there. Right?
Well, fans get to do that because they had like 6 solo homers yesterday.
Don't put the cart in front of the horse, sir. Let me work on my build-up. I'm getting there. So the Cubs Twitter account tweeted that Yankees fans think everything is a home run with the video, right? So what did the Yankees do? So here's the thing. Rookie Matt Swarmer tied a record on Saturday night, giving up 6 solo home runs to the Yankees before being pulled after 5 innings, and the Yankees 8-0 win. Schwarber, the 28-year-old, is the second pitcher in MLB history and the first since 1932 to allow 6 solo home runs in a single game. He is the 10th pitcher ever to give up 6 in the same game, and the first Cub since 1884, ladies and gentlemen.
Ouch.
And the best part about that is fucking Yankees Twitter clap back and says, well, maybe everything is a home run. I don't know. Look, man, I don't know if you give this guy more money for making him more interesting or fire him or what. I mean, like, please tell me you saw this.
I did it, and I actually put a lot of money on home runs on that specific game. Not a lot of money. What I mean a lot of money is $2 on every home run. I put 2 on Rizzo, 2 on Stanton, 2 on Judge, and actually I put $2 on Wilson Contreras, a home run, and he didn't do it. But I won like $30 just on those 3 home runs.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That's what I do. I was like, hey, I think this guy's getting a home run. Put $1, put $2, and it triples my money. So, and I don't feel like a jag if I lose $1.
It's
that
just,
$30 will go for a quarter tank of gas. Perfect.
right.
I'll get here to the next block. That's
like,
right.
What you doing betting on the Cubs? Trying to fill my gas tank. What the fuck? So another funny thing that came out of this series, Clint Frazier,
Former Yankee.
this fucking guy, he came out and said that he wasn't too pleased about his time in New York with the Yankees. He was talking about coming over to the Cubs, and he goes, I like it here. Certainly don't miss some of the things over there. And I'm really enjoying the way that this clubhouse has maneuvered. It seems like there's a lot of guys in here that are just accepting of everyone, and it's been really good for me. You had to be a cookie cutter version to be on the last on that team, talking about the Yankees. If not, you were like a really bad distraction, it seemed like. So I don't miss being told on how I had to look for the last 5 years. We've talked about this before. The Yankees, you can't have any facial hair. So now they got 3 guys out there that look like gay porn stars with their little tight fade and a little tiny mustache up top. Matt Carpenter, I'm looking at you. You look weird, bro.
Stop looking at him.
They keep putting him on the fucking thing. It's like every time I'm like, it's me, Mario. Like, what the fuck is going on right here? So the funny thing about this is that, well, right after he said that, the Cubs DFA'd his dumbass. Like, literally put him on, they designated him right after he talked shit, right after he's getting ready to play against the Yankees.
That's right. He didn't even go.
He didn't even get a chance to go over there because they're like, fuck you and fuck them too. And the best part about this all, Aaron Boone came back. And we all know fucking Aaron Boone, the craw in Yankees fan side, or no, Red Sox fans side back in the day in that, was that 2004, 2003 series. He came back and says, hey, I like Chicago too. It is a good town. And that was his whole response. I fucking love it. I mean, look, some people don't like Aaron Boone. To me, that shit was hilarious. What do you think about that?
No, you got to poke fun at it. You got to poke fun at the whole thing, especially since the Cubs are losing to the Yankees, and it's just like not interesting at all. But this is an interesting story, bro. You got fired on your day off and couldn't even get on the plane.
How you get fired on your day off, Craig?
How you gonna get fired on your day off, Clint? It's bad enough that your name is Clint. It's so easy. It's such an easy name.
Clint Eastwood is the only Clint I know.
Well, you need to know more Clints. Don't spit the beer. Don't spit the beer. Oh, man. So, look, the Cubs suck. They are not doing well because they are not a good team. And we saw all the rookies that they came up, all these young guys that came up, Schwarber and Keegan Thompson, and all these guys just get destroyed. And the funny thing to me is that I watched Cubs fans on Facebook. I can't believe they're losing these games. Are you fucking stupid? They are not a good team. They're trying to figure out who's going to be good for next year when they're going to have, like, I don't know, $30 billion in fucking cap money or free money that they can spend, right? They didn't spend money this year.
They're like the Bears.
They're in the tryout year.
That's exactly
right
what
now.
the Bears are. You're trying people out.
The Yankees are the best team in baseball. They are the best home run hitting team in baseball.
Yep.
They're the best offensive team in baseball.
Yep.
And since they got your favorite guy, Josh Donaldson, at third base, they
Fuck that
shored
dude.
up that side of the
that
infield. You don't gotta like him, but he has shored up the defense on that side of the infield for the Yankees, where they were sorely hurting for right there. So I mean,
since Clint Frazier.
Clint Frazier, that son of a bitch. Yes, I said it.
Do you watch any Cubs baseball, Sean?
No.
All right, moving on.
Hey, y'all know how we do on this show.
We got one more point. I know.
We watch them both. We watch them both.
do.
Because I can't talk shit if I don't know why you're bad. If I'm going to call you bad, I'm going to tell you why you're bad.
First of all, I refuse to pay for the
Marquee
Network, so I'm not paying that. And two, I just watch all the highlights. Every time they screw up, I see it showing in the highlights. So I'm not paying to watch a team that I don't root for. So even though I do this for a living, no.
I do watch because I put money on the game.
I think you watch so you can talk shit to me. That's the main thing right there.
Well, duh. I mean, come on. No, I mean, yesterday was a UFC, and I was at Output, and they had all the TVs on the fights, and they had one on the Cubs Yankees game.
Yeah.
And I kept going to my Cubs fans like, "Hey, what's the score to the Cubs game?" Yesterday I was that guy because you know what? When they talk shit about my team and La Russa and how we're fucking up, a little foreshadowing there.
Oh, hey. So weird. So the last thing I got to say about the Cubs is Suzuki, man. Seiya Suzuki is not getting better. He had a sprain on his ring finger. He's been on the 10-day IL for over 2 weeks now with that sprain, and he's been sidelined since hurting it in May 26th back in Cincinnati while he was stealing seconds. Look, I mean, he is not. They're saying that he needs more time to rest. He needs more time to get better. I mean, but the problem is that everyone on the Cubs is on the fucking DL right now, or they're waiting to see what's going to happen.
They're on the down low.
IL. Yeah, IL.
The whole team's on the DL down low.
Down low.
Real classy guy. Real fucking classy son of a bitch. I can't wait to see what you're going to do with the number 100 and switching the numbers around. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, look, your favorite midget, Nick Madrigal.
Whoa!
Your favorite midget.
That's yours.
Nick Madrigal.
He's yours problem now.
He left Game 2 of the Yankees series in the 12th inning. He didn't come back. I think he had another hamstring strain. How is you're so small? Your hamstring ain't that long. You can't be stretching that shit, man. Look, Wade Miley, after coming back and starting one game, back on the IL with a shoulder strain, and you look at what's going on in the minors. You got Ed Howard out for the season with that hip injury.
Right.
You got Brendan Davis is out with a back right now. So I mean, and he's officially out right now. So I mean, the problem is that Madrigal. Okay, he's one guy that the Cubs are expecting that they're going to have him for the future.
Correct.
Ed Howard, the shortstop, they're expecting they're going to have him for the future. This is a freak accident that he had, just a weird way that he landed. And Brendan Davis, I mean, that's the top prospect. So I mean, the concern is, are these guys going to be injury prone? We look at Madrigal's already been on the fucking IL like 3 times this year. You know what I mean? And we're early, quote unquote, early in the season. We're mid-June, but I mean, we're early enough. Trade deadline, all that stuff. So him not being there is going to affect how they decide what they're going to do with these players. You know what I mean?
Do you really think he's part of the core going forward?
I think I don't think I've seen enough of him. It reminds me of Kevin White. You know what I mean? Are you good? I have no idea. You never fucking play. You never play. That's the problem with Madrigal. And then when he does play, he has no idea what to do with the ball. He is one of the weirdest. He's like the size of Ryan Terriel, but Ryan Terriel could play, right? Mike Fontenot could play. They could play defense. Madrigal's like, oh shit, the ball. What do I do with the ball? Somebody help me. Like, what the fuck? You play like an 8U baseball player where they get the ball and panic. You know what I mean? Like, just because that's just as tall as you got doesn't mean you had to stop learning then too. What the fuck?
Oh man, I love it when you have to go into your team there. There's a lot going on wrong with it. He's never been a good defensive player.
I mean, in his life?
No. I mean, going up and watching the minors, watching him in the minors, he's never been a great defensive player. That's not what you got him for. You got him for making contact, which he's not doing in the lineup.
Nobody's doing it. I mean, it is frustrating. I mean, look, right now the Cubs are sitting very firmly in 4th place, 23-36. It's bad. They're 10 games back, and they are 3-7 in the last 10. So the whole NL Central is kind of shitty right now. Even the Cardinals are at the top right now with 34-27 record, but they're still 5-5 in the last 10. I want to say I saw a stat a couple of days ago where it was like everybody in the NL Central was like 0 for 30 the last week and a half. It was ridiculous. So, look, I don't think I hope no one has high hopes for this division, because even the Brewers right now are 2-8 in the last 10. They've been on the downslide. You look at the Phillies, look, the Mets were like on 10-game winning streaks, and everyone in the NL Central sucks right now. So
what you're saying Cubs, is that you got a chance?
No, I'm saying that the Cubs fit in with the rest of the fucking division. That's what I'm saying right now. The Cubs fit perfectly in with the rest of these shitty NL Central teams. But I'll tell you what,
So it's talent. Do you think it's talent then? You don't have enough talent.
They don't have enough talent because they're still in the they're in their prove it contract right now. We know that Wisdom is too old to really be a long-term answer, right? We know that Frank Schwindel, as much as he really wanted to hit a grand slam against the Yankees today, being that he's from New Jersey and been a Yankees fan his entire fucking life, he couldn't get it done. We know he's not the long-term answer. I mean, there's so many questions on this roster right now. What's going to happen with Ian Happ, who I think is probably the most eligible player on this team to get traded because you don't have to, he's still a young enough guy that you can plug him in somewhere. He can be a utility guy for a long time because remember he's played second base. He can play anywhere in the outfield, so he has a lot of potential for a trade candidate. What Hendricks is getting older, you know what I mean? Wade Miley's old as shit. There's just they're trying to plug holes. I mean, they grabbed Clint Frazier off of waivers from the Yankees, and he was a fucking bum. You know what I mean? So there's no, Seiya Suzuki right now, hot when he came out, injured right now. You have no idea what's really going on with this team from day to day. They got a couple of guys. Morel looks very excited, very exciting to watch. You know what I mean? He loves being at the ballpark every day, but I mean, like, you look overall, it's a talent problem on this team. And until we see what's really going on with these guys in the minors, who knows where this team's going?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Besides Hayward and Happ, there's really no talent on that team. I know Hendricks has been
Contreras.
up and Contreras.
Look,
that has to be the hot issue, right? Do you sign Contreras or do you trade him? I've been telling you guys you've got to trade him to get enough talent, and I understand he's the main cog because he's a catcher and he's the cornerstone, right, for a rebuilding team. He's a good hitter. But you need to plug up a lot of holes, and right now he's at his highest value. It's time to trade him. I
mean, they just avoided arbitration with him, and he got 9.625. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, look, I honestly, like, I understand the whole idea about trading Contreras, and one of the teams that they're talking about him going to is the Yankees. You know what I mean? And I don't like it. Yeah, because I mean, you look at what they're doing right now. You know, Gary Sanchez went over to Minnesota. They got like Trevino or whatever it is under there. You know what I mean? So look, would Wilson Contreras put him over the top, not only defensively but offensively? I mean, who's better than the Yankees right now anyway?
It's nobody.
Nobody. You know what I mean? So what
it's like the Yankees, then there's the Dodgers, then the Mets. I mean, Atlanta.
Yeah. They're the reigning champs, but they're one of their best players went over to the Dodgers. So I mean, it's a problem with talent. It's a problem with everyone on this fucking team. It's just I can't even be frustrated because I didn't expect anything out of this team.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what's weird to me about Cubs fans who sit there and bitch and moan, oh, I can't believe they... What do you mean you can't believe? They just played the best team in baseball, and half your team is minor leaguers or guys that were in the minors for 9 fucking years. What did you think was going to happen? Seriously. Wisdom and fucking Schwindel were in the minors.
They're career minor league players.
From the 2000s. Like, what the fuck? Look, man, now that you have no comment... Mr. fucking Sox fans in here. I'm gonna shut up for a little bit.
Oh wow!
And I know that's the most surprising thing of all. But so my question to you is, what's going on the South Side?
White Sox, go White Sox. Let's go White Sox. We're with you all the way.
The White Sox can't get it together either, brother. That's what's happening. Whether it's the pitching, the hitting, the coaching, something is always lacking in every game.
Oh, it's always the coaching.
Losing 2 out of 3 to both Dodgers and Rangers.
The thought process on the intentional walk with
to Turner?
Turner at 1-2.
So let me ask you a question. Is there some question about whether that was a good move or not?
I guess at 1-2 is the question at the count.
Do you know what he hits against left-hand pitching with 1-0-1 or 2 strikes? Do you know what he hits?
He does it well again. Right.
Well, do you know what Muncy hits with 2 strikes against a left-hand pitcher? I mean, is that really a question?
Yeah.
Because it was 1 and 2? Turner was a strike left against a left-hander is not something you can avoid if you can. And we had an open base, and Muncy happened to be the guy behind him, and that's a better matchup. Here again, somebody disagrees. That's the beauty of this game. Welcome to it. But
All right, so I'm gonna shut up for a second. I'm gonna let Shawn take care of this one.
Take a nap. Take a nap.
You know, my thought with that was I don't think he, pitch to him. It's 1-2. Stay away from him. Okay, if you're worried about him, maybe he chases. All right, maybe try to get him to get himself out. Don't throw him a strike. To actually do that, to me was ludicrous. I understand his reasoning, but it's still ludicrous. You can explain why stuff happens or why you do things, but it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's a smart thing to do. So Tony's been making a lot of decisions that are extremely questionable, and from roster. But you have to understand, I'm talking about from roster construction. I mean, lineup construction to a whole bunch of other things. But he's working with not a full team. I mean, look at from when he started last year. How many games has our entire team been there? I'm talking from Tim Anderson, Eloy in left, Lubob in right, whoever they decided in Eloy in left.
Injury can't
right.
be an excuse.
Yeah, well, it is an excuse because you know what? These guys got paid millions of dollars, and you can say guys step up.
Every team has to go through injuries. Injuries cannot be an excuse.
They are an excuse because
it's not.
It is. So if you take guys who are, there's a point where our whole outfield was gone.
Yep.
So you take a whole outfield out and look they signed Eloy for 43. Lubob was another long-term deal. Tim Anderson, they just got his long-term deal. All these guys are out. So you mean to tell me? So let me ask you this question: if injuries don't matter, you take away your top 5 batters,
I didn't
doesn't matter.
I didn't say injuries don't matter. I says that cannot be used as an excuse.
It is an
because other teams find a way to get that shit done.
No, other teams don't get it. Now with their top
We're
5
devastated.
players. Now with their top 5 players out, when you have your entire outfield gone, it doesn't matter. It's not. You're not going to be the same team. And people can say, "Oh, well, next man up." Well, there's a reason why the next man is second team. He's not as good as the first person. So, it's.
I think
that means that other people that are already on that team need to step up. That's what it is.
But they're not as good. You can't get. So what you're saying is that what you're telling me is that
I'm telling you that all 9 have to pull on that fucking rope. And if someone else is down, you pick your brother up and you pull harder. That's what I'm saying.
So you're saying the second team they should perform at the same level as the first team.
I'm saying that other players need to step up.
But I'm asking,
but Larry Garcia can't step up.
I'm asking you a question.
Sucks.
So you're saying everybody should perform, so the second team should perform as well as the first team?
I'm saying the other
yes or no?
Your other starters on the team need to pick up the fucking pieces.
So you
carry more of the load. Figure it out.
But if they're not equipped, to do that.
But your other starter, you can't hit a 5-run home run.
Stop making stupid mistakes. You know what I mean?
No, you can't hit a 5-run home run.
So when you're down,
they wouldn't let me.
So or what happens when you're not? If they put him on base, what happens if it's an open base? They put him on. What happens if he's not up in that particular inning when there's runners in scoring position? There's a reason guys are in second. They're second team. You can't expect the second string players to be as good because if they were, they'd be getting the same amount of money as the first team. So injuries are a huge factor. Now that's old coach talk, is old coach bullshit. Because trust me, I was a coach, and you used to say that, but you understand when you're with the staff. You're like, damn, dude, this guy's hurt, this guy's hurt, this guy's hurt. You can't expect those guys who were second team to play as well as the guys who were on the first team because they wouldn't be second team if they were playing as well as the guys on the first team.
Speaking of injuries, Michael Kopech goes down today after facing a couple batters. He left with right knee discomfort. We have no idea what's going to be. He's going to get an MRI the next on Monday or Tuesday, whatever it is. We still have Joe Kelly out, Tim Anderson out, Aaron Bummer. Grandal day-to-day with another hamstring. As soon as he starts hitting, he's back to going to go back on the IL because of a tight hamstring. I don't know what's going on with the White Sox and the hamstrings.
The soft tissue injuries have been really, really affecting this team in a negative way. With Eloy now in his hamstring, Tim Anderson in his groin. You've had a whole bunch. Yo-Yo in his oblique. There's a whole bunch of different things that are going on. And they just fired the training staff last year, and they got a new one. Yeah, so again, my issue is what the hell are they doing? Are they, they honestly, truth be told, they need to get incorporated into a yoga routine. Yep. They need to have everybody practice yoga. They need
to call up Jake Arrieta and say, hey, what did you do to fucking all of a sudden loosen up?
They got to call DDP, baby. They get them the diamond cutters.
DDP, but I don't understand why they're constantly getting or having soft tissue injuries. It doesn't. I would imagine that
they're lifting too much and not stretching enough.
It might not even be lifting too much.
Hanging out with Alshon Jeffrey.
You might have to. Sometimes sometimes you're wound too tight.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so that's where the flexibility and the stretching comes in.
Right.
I don't know how much they make them stretch, but man,
It's not enough.
When I'll tell you what, I played football for so long time, and my stretching routine before a game was about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And
it gets longer as you get older.
And so my thing is like, why don't they have a 20 minutes or a half stretching routine? And if they do, then there's this. I mean, I'm telling you, if you saw I put a meme up, not a meme, but I posted on Facebook today, like whoever put brujeria on my
I
socks,
did see that.
Your mama's a hoe.
I did see that.
Because it's just unbelievable the amount of soft tissue injuries. Not even broken bones. It's just soft tissue, and like damn. And those are the worst because they can linger.
Yep.
Right. And there's certain things you can try and do, but it really all depends on your healing process. So I don't know what's going on with these guys, man. It's frustrating as all hell.
So even let me ask you a question. So even with the injuries that the White Sox are dealing with right now, their team is currently constructed. How much better are they than the Cubs right now?
Right now,
I mean,
not much. With all their injuries, and I'll tell you why, because they're not playing smart baseball.
Because you're talking about your main guys, Eloy and TA and Mancada. Who the hell knows what's going on with that guy? Yeah. But I mean, you look at the other positions. You look at Abreu, who's
he's hitting now this week.
Yeah,
started turning around.
But you look up and down that lineup, and they should be miles ahead of the fucking Cubs. The Sox record right now is what, 27? What we got? 27-31, and the Cubs are 23. They're only 4 games better than the Cubs right now.
Well, here's
and both Centrals suck.
But here's the issue that I've said countless times is the White Sox, in my opinion, the White Sox are too busy reading their press clippings. I think they're really too busy looking at the fact that they got a Silver Slugger or a couple of Silver Slugger awards. They got an MVP award in there. They have a batting champion in there. They have a Golden Glove. And the fact of the matter is that right now, they don't have, to date myself, they don't have the eye of the tiger. They are not the hunters. They feel like they're the hunted.
Yes.
And until you've won something, you are not the hunters. And people can want to come after you. You're hunting your first World Series championship, first World Series title. There needs to be a focus with this team that I don't see.
And it starts at management.
It starts at the top. It starts with and here's the issue. Rick Hahn is frustrated because
he's handcuffed.
Exactly. He can't fire Tony La Russa.
No, he can't.
Tony La Russa might be able to fire him, truth be told.
Rick Hahn said went out of how do you say out of pocket or out of line, whatever, and he fires him. Let's say he goes rogue and he fires him.
He goes over Jerry's head.
Right, and that's career suicide.
Yeah,
because he's going to get fired
on the White Sox. Yes, but I promise you, if Jerry decides to kick Rick Hahn to the side because he got rid of TLR, some other team would scoop him up
the next day.
Fucking second.
Oh yeah,
in a fucking heartbeat.
But why would you fire yourself essentially by firing a manager that you didn't want, that you didn't hire? Because it's the wrong fucking manager.
Every time someone quits from a job, right, leaves a job, you're not just leaving the job. You're quitting. You're basically firing your fucking manager, your own manager, your supervisor. Because you're like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't want to work from you. You don't make it enjoyable. And guess what? If Rick Hahn does that to TLR, that's what. So let me ask you a question, because we had another firing that happened this week, and it was Joe Madden from the Angels. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have TLR or Joe Madden right now for the manager of the White Sox?
That's a good fucking question.
Well, I'll
take Joe Girardi.
We know what we had for.
Nah, that's not that. You know better. You know
we
better.
know what we had in TLR, and I'd take Ozzie.
Yep.
And I've said it plenty of times. He is the perfect guy for this team, but they will not hire him. Ozzie's a wild card. Ozzie's going to say what he wants. The fact of the matter is that with baseball now, if you guys are listening, if you don't know it, the front office makes the lineup. The front office does everything, which is why, if you've heard in recent years, the significance of a manager is
just to go up there and change the pitcher.
Literally, for all intents and
it's
purposes.
All for show.
And that's why they're not paying managers $3, $4, $5, $6 million anymore. They're paying them $1 million. They according to their analytics, a manager's only worth 2 or 3
But the
games.
manager still has to make in-game moves, which Tony has no idea what he's doing half the time. I mean, I feel like he forgets what he's doing halfway through.
He leaves his pitchers in there way too long.
Yes.
Doesn't warm up the bullpen as fast enough.
He's like an inning behind all the time.
He's a player's manager, and the point is that now he wants people to be able to get out of those situations, and he waits too long because back in the day, you'd leave. If you're getting shelled, you're getting shelled.
Yep.
They didn't. You got to figure that out, and that's part of the wussification of America. Like, oh my, come take me out. I'm getting shelled. No, sometimes you got to figure shit out, and that's what he's not.
But you can't do that every game. You can't. It's starting to pile up on you.
It's gonna kill the confidence of the good pitchers that we do have, and then you also have your bullpen that's. Oh, I'm putting it in for this. I'm putting it in for that, and then I'm switching. You're using your bullpen all up. I mean, it's really bad. Look at all the injuries that we have. I mean, today they warmed up Cease in the bullpen today.
I saw that. I was like, what the hell are they doing?
There's no reason for he's supposed to do his side throwing today. That is it.
There's not no reason. That's the only reason you would do that is the playoffs.
They had Lopez pitch today. They had Cueto pitch. So Cueto was supposed to pitch during the Detroit series.
I mean,
is he going to pitch now?
You had Kopech go down, so I mean, you had to figure something out.
But Lopez is a starting pitcher.
Right.
He can handle it.
Deal. Yes, that's his whole deal.
Wasn't he an opener? That's a
couple days ago. Yeah.
That's what you have him for, to eat up innings.
Right.
So why are you wasting a starting pitcher? Those are the questionable moves that we're talking about. And then you do this Trey Turner thing. The Max Muncy's like, I can't believe it. Yeah. You really walked this dude with 1 and 2. You could have nibbled. Maybe he strikes out. Maybe it's a single. Okay, whatever. But you literally walked him. That's a slap in the face to a guy who almost won the MVP in the NL the year before.
Yeah, but you have to. It's a slap in the face. But first of all, he's coming off injury, so he's not in sync. Second of all, before he was injured, all right, he was in a slump.
Yeah, he was hitting 154.
So the fact of the matter is you can take it however you want. Okay, if you want to go by the numbers,
that's what he did.
Then okay, well then here, look, I got a guy who's going 154 as opposed to Trey Turner who's hitting everything in sight. So it, would you take it? Yeah, I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand. Like everyone's it's analytics is what the numbers say. Well, here's what the numbers say. So when people are sitting there and when people want to use the numbers, they will. When they don't, they won't.
Exactly.
And so you got guys who are saying, "Well, Tony's old school and this," and then he uses the numbers. And new school, everybody gets mad.
He invented analytics. He used it way before anybody. So this is the thing. Trey Turner's hitting 247 against a left-hander on a 1 and 2 count, the best in baseball in that count. Okay, I understand that. I understand why you look at the analytics to make that change, to walk them, because it was a wild pitch that allowed the runners to advance so you have a base open.
And he was so confused that people were questioning that move. He was like, what do you mean? I have no idea why you would even question that. It's just, I feel like he's out of touch.
No, that's not even out of touch.
No, because he's telling the reporter, do you know the numbers
I understand
that I looked at?
I mean, how do you not understand the perception of what's going on right now?
Because you don't care about the perception. You're as a coach, you don't care what the people think. You think what you do what's best for your team. You go by the numbers. The numbers are you don't pitch to Trey Turner. The numbers are you pitch to Max Muncy. Now, what if it's a gamble? But here's the thing: if Max Muncy gets out of the inning or ends the inning, everyone's like, "Oh my God, this is why Tony La Russa is a Hall of Fame manager." Oh my God, maybe he's coming around. Well, it didn't. It backfired in his face. So then people wanted to throw him under the bus. Again, I don't think I would have done it, but if you go by the numbers, which is what everybody wants to do nowadays, then that tells you, and again, this is why Ozzy's perfect for this job, because Ozzy goes by feel, and then he uses the numbers to kind of to have an effect on him, to kind of influence. They don't make the decision for him, they influence it. And Ozzy, because as a baseball guy, as a coach, you have to have a feel for the game.
Yeah,
it's who's playing, who's hitting, what he's doing against this particular pitcher, what's he been doing recently. All that comes into play. But if you just want to go by the numbers, what Tony did was the right thing to do.
All right, so finishing out the month of June, you guys are getting ready to play the Tigers.
That should help us out,
right?
But the way it should. Okay. But the way they're playing defense and the way our pitchers are going down left and right, it does not look good for us.
Right.
You can see Detroit taking 2 out of 3 from the White Sox right now.
I can easily see that.
And that's the thing is that then you got the Astros coming up right after that.
That's a whooping.
You got Blue Jays coming to town, and you got the Orioles coming to town, and then the Angels to finish out the month.
Don't sleep on the Orioles, because you would know when you saw when the Cubs went up there.
The Orioles were the same. They have the same record as the Cubs at the time when they met each other. But I'm saying they faced each other, and they were just the Orioles got up there and did their thing. I mean, the Cubs, you know what I mean? We know the Cubs are not good, but what I'm saying is that when you look at the teams that you have for the rest of the month, these are not divisional opponents aside from
this is where it's supposed to get softer. The schedule gets softer.
You should, you got to see, I think, you play the Astros. That's still a tough team to play. And then you got to round it out with the Angels, who have been terrible, and that's why Joe Maddon got fired. Then we turn around and we look at what's going on in July. And we talked about this, I think, last show. July is a very crucial month for the White Sox. You start off playing the Giants in San Francisco. And then you got the first place Twins. You got the Tigers again. And you got Cleveland. You're playing your division.
Yes.
All the whole month of July, and that's going to really dictate what's going on. You finish off, you got the Rockies and the A's at the end of the month. So, I mean, that's really going to dictate what's going on. Are these games out of your division even going to make that much of a difference depending on what you do at that point? Because, I mean, you can either make up a lot of ground or fall real quick in this fucking month of July.
Thank you to Minnesota for screwing the pooch themselves, because they really could be having a double-digit lead on us in this particular point, but they've chosen to play at a mediocre at best level and really bail us out, because you know what? Because once the Sox get back, the White Sox are a much more talented team. They're the most talented team in the AL Central. They're just not playing with it. They're not healthy, and they're not playing like it. So if Minnesota was smart, they did not take advantage of the fact that the White Sox are struggling. They should be at least 8 to 10 games up at this particular point with the way that we've played, the poor defense, the poor base running, the inability to connect and situational hitting. They screw themselves. And when the White Sox get back, if they can get all healthy and start moving, man, Minnesota doesn't have a chance. And they're good. They've gotten better. The whole division's gotten better. But this White Sox team, talent-wise, is the best in the division.
All right. Shawn, as a White Sox fan, depending on what happens in the month of July, right? Let's say, just for the sake of argument, let's say they go 500, which, I mean, look, right now, that's not a good look. It's not a good look, but based on how they've been playing in the last couple weeks, the way that they kind of just been a lot of weird mistakes and kind of you see what happened in the last couple of games against the Rangers where they should have won these fucking games.
Yes.
And they let them slip through their fingers.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say right now them getting on a trajectory which would take them to a 500 level, so you're not losing ground in the division, but you're not necessarily gaining ground. What would be one move that you would look for the White Sox to make prior to the trade deadline?
That's a good question. The reason being because all those young bucks right now who are supposed to literally be in their prime, they're under contract. So do you want to move them? Do you still have faith in Yo-Yo? Do you still have faith in Lou Bob? Do you still have faith in Eloy? Do you still have faith in TA? What do you do?
Moncada, out of those names that you gave, Moncada is the one. Because you got Berger.
But
Berger can't play defense.
His defense is atrocious. And
every game he has an error.
And you know what?
Too many burgers.
The fact that, are you gonna sacrifice offense for defense? Because if you do, what happens if he doesn't give you the offense that game, but still gives you the horrible defense?
Nice liability.
That's exactly it. So the game he had the homer the other day. He had 3 mishaps in the field. One was an error. The other one was a ground ball that it should have been a double play, and it wasn't. And then the other one was he didn't attack the ball when Trey Turner was running.
Yeah, he waited on it. He's safe.
He stayed back and he took a hop, and Trey Turner beat it easily. So these are things, because he's nowhere near the athlete of Yo-Yo, and Yo-Yo's got one thing that bugs me about Tony is I think he might just be getting old, and for me, this is why I want Ozzie. Ozzie will put you on Front Street. Ozzie will tell you you're playing like shit, and you're going to sit. Period. And you know what? I don't care if me personally. I don't care if your feelings are hurt. This is you're a grown man. You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars, okay, to play a kid's game. And if someone can't criticize you, okay, well then too damn bad. But I would love the fact that Ozzie would hold it. There'd be no language barrier, even though Tony speaks Spanish.
Right.
There'd be no misunderstanding, nothing lost in translation. Ozzie would put his foot in your ass and see how you perform. And if you can't perform, then you can't be here. As much as I love Yoan Moncada, and on my show I get flack about it all the time how much I love Yo-Yo. But man, if he's got to go, then he's got to go. Because you know what? They're trying to win a World Series, and if you can't deal with the downs, okay, and you can only deal with the ups, no, then that's not the type of person you want, because baseball over 162 games is a marathon. You're going to have ups and downs more than once throughout the season.
So the thing is that when TLR got rehired by the White Sox, there was another manager that I wanted on the hire, and it wasn't Ozzie. It was AJ Hinch, who ended up on the Tigers.
That's who Han wanted.
That's what Juan wanted.
Would you have been happy with that move if they had made it?
1,000%.
Right.
Yes.
And that's, to me, like, you're looking at a young team. You're looking at a manager that basically took a bunch of young Hispanic players over there in Houston, regardless of whatever fucking, like, you know,
cheating shit.
Yeah. You know, whatever happened over there, it happened. I mean, but they still had to physically play the game, right? They had to make the moves, they had to make the hits, they had to make the pitches, right? So whatever happened with that, but to me, that was the perfect manager coming off of a suspension. He had a bunch of shit that was going on underneath him that he had no idea, and that's his own fault. Joey Cora and all these motherfuckers. It was Joey Cora, right? Shady ass shit. You know what I mean? Alex Cora.
Not Joey Cora.
Yeah. So I mean, but like, you know what I mean? And it's his fault as a manager that he didn't know that was happening right under his own roof. But that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is that they made a mistake with hiring TLR, and we're seeing it more and more and more every day. Every time he steps out there, and he's just, you know, it's just shit falling out of his mouth, and it's frustrating. And this is from a Chicago fan, not a Cubs fan or a White Sox fan. This is from a fan who wants Chicago teams to do well. I'm not shitting on TLR because he's bad. I'm shitting on TLR because he was the wrong choice for the White Sox. And if they don't find a way to do something about this, whether it's find someone else in the organization that can take over and finish out the year and get them where they need to be.
That would never happen.
It's not happening.
I understand that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But that's what needs to happen.
Yes, sir.
And that's the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, fans, we'll be right back with Stirring the Pot after a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15. TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Hey, what's up? This is Lex Cruz from Jungle AE Recording Studios and Illinois Media School, and you are now listening to True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with E-Rock and Big Z.
Yes, sir.
It's that time again, brother.
Oh, boy.
You know what time it is.
Uh-oh.
It's time for Stirring the Pot.
All right, man. So we talked about this before the show.
We did.
Right? And there was a guy that came out. I guess he was a White Sox fan. And he says that for every time Burger hits a home run, he's going to eat a burger.
Oh, boy. I know where this is going.
So what happens when Mendick goes on a hot streak?
Arby's, we have the meats.
Nothing.
Well, they'll probably have to take up residence in Boys Town.
All right, so one thing we were just discussing is weird foods. Okay, so I need you, sir, to tell me what is a weird food that you like that most other people you think do not like.
So I don't know. Okay, my thing that I really enjoy, and because as a kid, my grandmother, we would have it. We would watch different TV shows, Dynasty, Colby's, that type. I mean, I'm going back, so I mean, even Dallas. All right. I used to eat cottage cheese with fruit. So she would have the, back then it was all canned. So she'd get the canned fruit, the canned peaches, the canned pears. Yep. She'd have it, and they were either halves. If they were halves, she'd cut them in quarters, and she'd put a big chunk of the cottage cheese on there, and we would eat that. And I learned to love it. A lot of people cannot stand it.
So your thing is like cottage cheese and fruit together.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. Are you eating cottage cheese with fruit?
Fuck no, I'm not in a retirement home. Fuck that.
That's not the question.
I'm not gonna eat that shit. No,
but you're questioning it because you're not
I'm not
older.
I'm not knocking it. I'm not. You want to eat that? Go ahead and eat that. No, that's not for me.
But have you ever had it?
No, it looks disgusting. It looks like the texture is like fucking cheese that's been sitting in your.
So you've never had cottage cheese?
No.
Oh, okay. No. See, if one person doesn't like it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause for me, I was in the same boat as you. My grandmother used to mix it up with like peaches. The other thing she used to mix it up with was tuna, because it's a cheap meal that it's a cheap meal that you get your dairy, you get your protein. You know what I mean? That's really what it is back in the day.
It's had good protein.
Crackers, you know what I mean? You eat it with crackers or something like that. Yeah, I mean, like that's a very like. Yeah, that's a very. I lived through the 40s era of fucking food, right? That's what that was right there.
Ration your food, right?
Right, you know what I mean? And find whatever's cheap and gives you the nutrients you need. That's what that was. Am I sitting there? Am I going to run out and go grab some fucking cottage cheese right now? That is not going to happen. I mean, I probably haven't had it since I was 9 years old, but I mean, it's definitely something that I've had in my life.
Definitely not eating cottage cheese out of a can or a container, and I don't want it out of my woman's legs either.
Well, that took a dark turn.
Wow.
Damn. We're over here reminiscing about grandmothers, and you, how dare you, sir?
Talking about
how dare you?
Gravitationally challenged women. Jesus Christ.
After my joke about men dick.
Right. Anytime I say a joke, I'm out of line, though.
Oh, man. All right. Well, look, I think we got a big question for the both of y'all.
Yes, sir.
For the 100th time, probably not that far. I don't think we've done it.
No, not 100 times.
But anyway, before we go, what you looking at? What are you watching that isn't sports?
I'll let Shawn go first.
What am I watching in sports?
That's not sports.
What are you watching that isn't sports?
Not sports. Well, you know what? Right now, nothing, because all the seasons have ended. Because I'm a Chicago Med. I'm not Med. I can't stand Med. I don't know why I keep saying that. Chicago,
keep saying it too.
I've said it like 17 freaking times. Chicago Fire, Chicago PD.
Yes.
I just got done watching Queen of the South last year. Just finished Ozark.
Phenomenal.
I'm working at it.
Just finished All American. I finished All American Homecoming. So I watch shows, but right now, because now it's the off season, I just watch Power 4 with Tommy, Power 3 with Kanan, Power 2 with Tariq. I've watched all those shows. Those are the shows I'm watching, but they're all on break right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like that's the good thing about Netflix is that, like, you just watch the whole thing at once and then you wait 3 years for the next one to come out.
Yeah, or what they did with Ozark or Stranger Things, where they break it up into 2 half seasons. I'm like,
so
really?
that's something.
Ozark was dope.
Oh yeah,
I'm making. People didn't like the end of it.
I loved it.
I did too. So if you haven't seen it, I won't ruin it for you.
That's what.
So he likes to start. He hasn't even finished Boardwalk Empire.
No, I made it like I made it where I can see the end a couple times, but I never quite crossed the finish line, and it just happened.
Every show he starts and never finishes.
I didn't see Boardwalk Empire, dude.
It's phenomenal.
I saw the first 3 episodes. I liked it, and then I can't tell you why I never finished it.
Right. There's no real reason.
It's
just
phenomenal.
because I got busy doing something else.
Breaking Bad was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a slow burn. It's a slow burn.
Very slow. Yeah.
Breaking Bad was okay for me. I was like, I got to the end. I was like, okay. It was just, you know what it was too, is like at the time I was working a lot of long hours, and every time we went to put it on, I went to sleep.
Tired.
And it was like, it's not, I feel like
because it's very slow moving.
I was like, if you caught my interest enough to keep me awake, I'll be like, oh no. I feel myself dozing off. I'll sit up. I'll straighten up. I'll go get a glass of water, whatever it is. But that moment never happened for me with that show.
Yeah, understandable. No.
There's
a lot of slow time, a lot of downtime in that. Like the one episode. Remember the one episode where they're trying to kill the fly?
Oh my God,
that was the most boring episode in the history of television shows ever. They're just trying to kill one freaking fly in their laboratory. Oh my God, dude. Then they had so many different angles. The angles from Jesse, from Heisenberg, and then from the fly. It was just crazy. Oh yeah, that was one of the movies, the series that I loved, man. I loved Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Do you like those long series then, huh?
Yeah.
7, 8 seasons.
Yeah, like Power. I'm a huge Power fan.
That's why I get in trouble.
I'm a huge Power fan. You know what? I missed out on a really good money-making opportunity for during Power. So after season 4, I believe, or season 3, Ghost got arrested by Angela for the murder of Greg Knox, her former colleague. And he didn't do it. So I'm sorry, I'm ruining it for everybody, but he didn't do it. And so immediately after it happened, and I don't know why I didn't pull a trigger. I'm like, you know what? If you made shirts and just sold them on eBay, #FreeGhost, that would have been, especially a month or two leading up, because once they came back with the date when the next season started, and I should have put those shirts out on eBay or sold, a bag of chips, and then you get the shirt for free. You know what I mean? Some shit like that. Some shit like that. And I missed out. But like Ghost or Power, I should say, that was awesome series.
I watched the first seasons until when the son realizes that his dad's a scumbag and this sort, and then doesn't he fall or something? The son falls. Doesn't he fall like off the club or something, or does his dad fall?
No,
off the club?
his dad gets shot.
Yeah, he gets shot. Yeah. That's as far as I got to that.
That's the last. That was the end of the series of Power.
Yeah.
And they broke off in
It's
Power
a books.
2. They broke off. Yeah, book 2 is Tariq. Book 3 is Kanan, and book 4 is Tommy.
Okay, so I got something to watch now over the summer.
That does not pique my interest whatsoever.
No,
every time I'm like, no, because it feels like very, I don't know. I've seen like music, like shows and documentaries and stuff like, and like I love music so much. I feel like when it's a little too cheesy for me, my own taste. But you know what I mean? Like I like documentary, and I don't watch a lot of dramatic shit. Like it has to be something really weird.
Yeah, that is
like
true.
really off the wall. Like I watch comedy all day. But yeah, like I enjoy it, but I also feel like Ozark. I feel like this is something that could happen. Right? This feels like a real story. I'm watching real people do this. Okay. I feel like that type of show, that shit just seems like it's too shiny, it's too fake, like it's too dramatic. It's way overly dramatic. That's why I can't watch like the Chicago Fire, PD, all that shit. It is everything is there was a show about like people that it was called the flight something, right? Where they like got on a flight, they landed somewhere, and it was 5 years later, but everyone. And I'm like, and it was like, I'm like, this is interesting, the concept of it, and the whole show, starting from episode 1, wasn't about the phenomenon that just happened where they fucking lost 5 years of their life. It was about their weird relationships with people after they came back and the dramatic fucking circumstances. I'm like, I'm interested in what happened with that weird. How the fuck did that happen? Investigate that shit. I watched one episode and cut it off. I was like,
I never got to that episode.
Immediately, it was just like,
I'm out.
Yeah, it was like, but husband, you got remarried. He's like, yeah, it was 5 years, and that was the whole fucking show.
It's very similar to Lost, where it was really good because it kept you in suspense, and then it became dramatic.
It was like, it's just like the whole thing was just about people like arguing about shit. I was like, this is bullshit. Tell me what happened. How the fuck did that flight go 5 years? That's what I wanted to know. I don't care about. But Timmy doesn't like me anymore. He found a new wife. Oh, fuck Timmy and his wife. I don't care.
But wait a minute. Where did they have enough snacks and drinks?
I don't know.
What about the bathroom? How many? What about the you're in the air?
But that's no.
It's 5 years of stuff in the plane.
Oh boy, that's a lot of shit.
It didn't last 5 years.
Oh, thank you very much.
It was just a regular flight, and when they landed, it was 5 years later. Not that it took 5 years to fly.
So like they flew like through the Bermuda Triangle.
Right. And then just popped up on the other side.
Did they have the flux capacitor? Is that what happened?
No. And it was weird because it was like a family had to get split up and go on 2 different flights. One flight made it normal, and the other flight they assumed it lost. And then like 5 years later they showed up and they show up like, what are you talking about? We just got on the flight. You know what I mean? So it was just like
we just landed. Like, no, we've been gone. What do you mean I've been gone?
That's exactly. And it was just like, and it was just fucking.
Yeah, that didn't.
That wouldn't. I was like, nah. Y'all gotta do that shit. Oh, who are you watching, Z?
The Boys, the new season of The Boys. If you don't know The Boys, it's superheroes, but they're not so super, bro. They're dirty and grimy.
It's superheroes without any morals.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And so we were talking off air. There's some grimy ass scenes, man, and some that makes you kind of like.
What platform?
Cringy.
It's on Amazon.
Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay.
Amazon Prime. Yeah, so those come out every Friday. I think they're about 4 episodes in this season. It's great TV. It's violent. It's something you don't really have to think about it. There's not that much drama on it, but it's a good show. Also been watching Mayans. I think 1 or 2 more episodes for this season. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Mayans is a spinoff of Sons of Anarchy.
I never watched that either.
Oh, I've Sons of Anarchy is great.
That was actually pretty good, but I can't watch it anymore because I was actually watching it the night that I fucking came down with vertigo. Something triggered. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I fell asleep. I got the fucking the stereo with the sound of the motorcycle going past me as I'm sitting on the sofa, and I literally woke up. I was dreaming that a fucking motorcycle was going because I actually fell asleep out in the recliner watching the TV.
Oh wow!
And I'm dreaming that the fucking motorcycle was going past me, and I got dizzy because of it. I opened my eyes. I stayed dizzy for like 4 fucking days. Vertigo, it was crazy. I had to go to the hospital. All this shit. They thought I was having a stroke. Yeah, I was just dizzy and I couldn't walk. I was just stumbling around, and I was getting ready to have my fucking hip surgery. So like I had a fucking really bad hip. And vertigo, and they're like, we might not even do the surgery. You can't walk in a straight line. I was like, I never could.
I forgot you said The Boys. I also watched The Shy.
Oh yeah, The Shy. Yes, that's a good show.
I don't think I have a Showtime.
Me and Sean love the Chicago shows.
Oh yes. See, but that's different though. That's not like I feel like that has a different story. Like I could believe those are real people that's happening to.
In The Shy,
yeah. Versus that Chicago Med, like.
No, we don't watch Med.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the one we don't watch.
Yeah.
Okay,
but I keep saying that I do.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like all like those shows right there feel like it doesn't feel like real people to me.
You know why? As much as I love Chicago Fire, it pisses me off to no freaking end when they'll say they'll make the call. Truck 51, ambulance 81, and the address is 1658 South. Grand. And I'm like,
Grand doesn't run
Grand's
south.
East-West Street.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give me that bullshit that it's.
Yeah.
I hate, dude. I get so pissed. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just stupid.
No.
I get pissed. Like, no, there's no way. And then they go like, that's not even there. That's not the address. And they always go to the same spots. Like they'll go right there.
Like Shameless.
Right by.
It's always Pilsen.
Yeah.
It's really by house by the output as well. Garfield Park all the time. So they film in those areas.
And then they have the right where the
by the silos.
The silos, right by Damon.
Yeah.
They also have where's the right by the Hyatt, down right by Wacker.
Oh yeah. Where Wacker ends, yes.
Yes. Yeah, they always film over there. They have the firehouse there, and that's where who was the chick that left? Her brother's on, her stage brother is on Chicago PD.
The brothers on PD.
Yeah, they're brothers. They're Dominican.
Oh yeah.
That's what she was. That's what she wanted to go to Dominican Republic for relief, for Puerto Rico for relief.
Yeah.
She had to meet the chief.
Gabby. Yes.
And she had to meet the chief, and he's on that firehouse right there on like Columbus, I think it is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then the actual firehouse is over there on what is it, Racine?
Blue Island and Racine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I love. I just don't like when they give the wrong address. Like, no, you can't.
No, that bothers me too. They're like, oh yeah, 32 something South Clark, and I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think it goes that far south.
I'm sorry, sir. Your Google Maps is broken.
Yeah. Last thing I've watched was the new Steve Austin podcast. It's on Peacock. He interviewed Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah. Okay.
So and this is kind of like they're breaking down the fourth wall because they were never allowed to talk about any other organization in WWE. So now you got Steve Austin talking to Jeff Jarrett, who started TNA,
right?
And then him and his dad. I think he's third generation. And they talk about all the wrestling families and everything he's done and so forth. So it's really good because they were supposed to be in heat. They had heat against each other. That's what everybody thought, that they didn't like each other. No, not in heat.
Yeah,
Whoa.
right? I was like,
That's a whole different show there.
It's a whole different show than this one,
It
too.
is Pride Month.
Oh. There's your Mendick.
Thank you very much. We'll be here all week.
Oh, man.
A month.
It's so much for 200.
All right, so that's all I got. What are you watching?
I'm watching my kids, man. I'm watching my kids. No,
There's got to be some crazy episodes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's where all the softball games and all that stuff comes from. But no, for our 100th episode, my wonderful wife Kim got us a bottle of our favorite tequila and tickets to go down to see Cubs and Cards in St. Louis. So that's what we'll be doing the weekend after Father's Day. And so she went and had her girls trip with her girls up to Wisconsin in Minocqua for a few days. So I was with the kids. Huh? Yeah,
Where?
all the way up there. Yep.
Minocqua?
Chewbacca? What the? Anyway,
they're in Anaheim, of course.
Yeah,
the Adams. You just.
So yeah, I mean that's what I've been doing. We've just been hanging out, you know what I mean? Look, she was very concerned about the fridge being stocked, and I don't think I pulled anything out of that fridge. She was just like, "What do you want? We're going to McDonald's."
Oh,
what do you want? We're going to Taco Bell.
Typical dad move.
Yeah, I mean, well, because the thing is that so Friday I worked from home. The girls were here, right? Saturday we had a game at like 11 o'clock. Right, so we went to that, and then on the way home, I'm like, I had to go get something to fix the pool. I did that. I come back home. The neighbors were out. Hey, you want to come have dinner? Sure, we're having dinner. So we're going over there, had tacos, and then they ended up going to Chinatown for boba tea. I was like, that's a lot of traffic. I was like, and during the PR Fest, just anywhere in Chicago, that's a lot of traffic. I went to Culver's, so I took the girls to Culver's right here and got ice cream. I didn't go all the way down there.
Got yourself a concrete mixer?
Yeah, the concrete mixer. I threw that at somebody.
Did you hear about this, Shawn?
No.
Yeah, so I got banned from Facebook 2 different times. Once on your and my wife's birthday, because their birthdays one day apart. And basically what I said, one of the comedians we know says, I just invested in dog shit coin. I'm about to blow up. I went in the comments and I says, blow up a toilet maybe, and Facebook said, you're banned for violence. And I was like, I'm sorry. They're like, you're banned for 3 days for saying you're gonna blow up a toilet. Right. Oh my God. This week when we went to New York, last week we were in New York. Right before that happens, on my 10-year anniversary trip, our first trip ever, like without the kids. This is essentially our honeymoon 10 years later. Someone posted a picture of their child getting ready to start their brand new job at Culver's. They had the shirt on, and it says, I asked my daughter, what would she do if a customer gave her shit? She goes, I'll give it right back to her. I says, throw a concrete mixer at them. And Facebook says, you're banned for a whole fucking week this time because you shouldn't be throwing concrete at people. And I'm like, sir or madam, a concrete mixer is an ice cream treat from the store Culver's where this young person is about to start their job. And you know what Facebook said? Nothing. They didn't respond at all. They just left me banned for a whole fucking week. So the whole time I was in New York, I couldn't post. I couldn't do. And I do a lot of pictures and shit like that. I still have like 100 pictures I got to fucking upload. But yeah,
that's hilarious.
So Facebook is getting out of control right there. So
they banned me. Here, real quick. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
So they put together a little video. So they have videos and stuff. So one was with me and when we went to the Cub Sox. Okay, so I'm at the Cub Sox, and they got all these pictures and everything. They put the music there, the whole thing, and then all of a sudden I get flagged for copyright infringement.
Yep.
I'm like, you put this shit together. I didn't do this. You did it.
So Facebook's algorithm put together a montage for you.
Yes,
Use the song
with music. Yes,
with music, and then they fucking. Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the problem. Is that everything? This shit's supposed to be smart, but it's outsmarted itself.
Yep. Exactly. That was hilarious.
Oh man. That's classic.
No. Aside from that, the one thing that we did watch was Goonies. I'm tired of watching the kids shows, so I put it on, and it's funny because the 3-year-old was like, "Yeah, Goonies," and I'm like, "You have no idea what this is." house is. But we sat there, we watched
Traumatized her.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, she's just like, everything is funny to her right now. Everything is funny. Everyone getting hurt is funny. She's trying to kick my ass. She wants to, like, jump from one couch to another like it's WWE. I kid you not. This kid is either going to be a wrestler or, like, some type of, like, I don't know, like
Trapezes?
UFC
Ninja
fighter.
warrior.
Yeah.
Something, because, I mean, that's what I told you. Every time she falls down on concrete, she gets up like the Undertaker. Like, where he looks dead, and all of a sudden, just from the middle of his body, from his waist, he just gets right back up. I mean, this kid has been doing that shit for her whole 3 years of life, and there ain't no fucking. Now she's doing high fly fucking Jeff Hardy shit. She's like fucking my shit up from the top rope. It's crazy. And she's like, and she goes to land on me. I catch her. She goes, Dad, no hands. She wants to land on my chest.
She's been watching WWE.
She's been watching something, but what the fuck is they putting on YouTube?
Like, I know you don't know what this means, honey, but a cracked sternum is not a good thing.
No.
And let me tell you, three-year-old feet are very sharp and they're very accurate. Okay, I'm just gonna put it.
Why they land with their heels first? I have no idea.
No, because they're making sure that they're the last one. They're like, I'm gonna be the baby forever. Oh man, hey, look, Shawn, it's been a pleasure having you here. Talk football, talk baseball. Why don't you tell our fans out there where they can reach you on social media and tell us about your show?
Yeah, guys, listen, you can follow me on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, the Snapper, and TikTok. I just made my first TikTok video.
Oh, look out.
I was walking with my mom because I take care of my mom. And it's all the same handle, at the Shawn Sierra, TheShawn Sierra, at the Shawn Sierra, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. You can catch my show, Shawn and Maya, in the morning. We're on my platform, Sports Zone Chicago, so you can follow Sports Zone Chicago on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. We are at Sports Zone Chicago, just like it sounds. And on Twitter, we are Sports Zone Shy, that's CHI, Sports Zone Shy. So check me out there. And, so I'll be on tomorrow talking baseball, a lot of baseball. I got Bob Nightingale. This is going to air on Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right, so I had Bob Nightingale on yesterday.
Now I got to edit the show.
That's gold.
Gold, Jerry, gold. So, yeah, that's where you can find me. And my show, Maya and I do a sports talk show. We just decided to stop trying. Chicago's landlocked. Why? I have no idea. There's only 2 Chicago sports talk stations in the city. Yeah. Much smaller cities have 3, 4, 5. I try to get in on a couple of things because I'm kind of smart when it comes to sports. At least I think I am. And they were landlocked. They had their one token minority person on ESPN. They had their one token minority person on The Score. They weren't looking for any more, and so I was like, you know what? Bump this. We this thing called the internet. And let's do it. So we created our own stuff, and so we. And
that's funny because Jonathan Hood was on both stations, and he was talking about the same guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, so we decided to do that, and man, that was what 3 years ago. And yeah, it's been going. Sports Zone Chicago's is 3 years old. Shawn and Maya is a little older than that, and so it's because we did the show first, and before we decided to actually build platform in Sports Zone Chicago. So it's we got some great news. Do us a favor, follow us on all social media platforms. We have some great news coming up in the next week or so about Sports Zone Chicago. So stay tuned. It's gonna be pretty dope. We got the confirmation and everything. So we just got to do a few more things, and then we'll definitely let everybody know what we're doing. But it's gonna be a game changer in our eyes and in the eyes of sports talk on these types of platforms.
That's awesome. I mean, I'm really happy for you. I'm happy that you are doing your thing. We have very clearly a very similar story. You know what I mean? We're just like, well, we're gonna talk about it. Might as well record the shit. Mm-hmm. If anyone listens, hey. If no one listens, at least we have fun. We're gonna do it anyway, so might as well. You know what I mean? So that's how it came about, and we're in the same boat. So I'm very glad that you found a platform that you could express your sports thoughts, because especially like you said in Chicago, they've tried it a couple times to put another station on the air that does sports talk, and they get so far and they get the rug pulled right underneath them because the big boys come in and swoop in and say, hey, So look. Everyone has their space, everyone has their time, so I'm glad that you have yours, and I'm glad that you were able to come over here and hang out with us for our 100th episode, man.
I appreciate it, man. It means a lot. You guys have thought of me to come out and on a very memorable episode. 100 episodes is a lot. I mean, you've been doing this for a minute now, and you got some traction, and that's a lot of people don't get to that particular point, and you guys have, and
you know, I appreciate you guys thinking of me and to have me on. Think enough of me to have me on. So
absolutely, man.
Thanks again.
I couldn't think of anybody else to have. I went through the list. I'm like, okay, who can we have?
Right.
I didn't want to have a reoccurring guest, someone we've had already. I'm like, I want somebody who knows Chicago sports and can hang with us. Especially that can hang with Eddie. And
once again, shout out to Will coming back. Hey, I'm so proud of him for doing what he wants to do, because he's so entrenched. I mean, when he talks about film, this man sits there and he'll watch.
He's salivating when he talks about film.
It's hilarious because, we were watching. So it's just, we'll be collaborating with him again for the upcoming Bears season, and we'll talk to you again about what's going on. Because look, especially with what's going on with the White Sox as the season progresses, I definitely want to talk to you again about what you think is going to happen when we get closer to that trade deadline, when we get closer to the end of the season, when they should be in the postseason, when they should be fighting for the actual spot at the top versus trying to sneak in the back door. So. Right. But
backdoor singer.
Yeah.
Hey, Zingers. Once again, Z, to you, congratulations, and thank you for being a part of 100 episodes with me.
Oh, well, I couldn't do it without you. That's pretty much that. No, but it's been a progression, is what I want to say.
Yep.
And if you don't know what I mean, listen to my first episode. It's horrible. It is freaking horrible. It is bad because I had no idea what GarageBand was. I had no idea what I was doing. I really wanted to go back and re-edit it, and then I thought twice about it. I left it there so people can see our growth and how much we've matured, how much we've learned, and it's so different now.
Honestly, like to be able to reflect on what you did in the beginning and have a record of that, right? That's the one thing that we have that's unique, is that because we are trying to report on things that happen already and give our opinions on things that happen already, versus like trying to report news. We're not really reporting news. We're just giving our opinion about what really just happened.
Yeah.
The things that we noticed throughout the week versus like some, you know what I mean? So that's the tricky part about it, and we have to try to keep up with that, and we've had to adjust the time in which we actually release the show, the topics that we cover versus the things that we don't. Try to be sensitive about like real life issues and not just sports. Bring a little bit of levity to those might be having a bad day, when we talk about the funny things in the beginning of the show and the funny things in the end of the show. And hopefully at this part of the show, you guys are still listening, and we thank you. Big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF Podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts right now. And don't forget to check out our guy Danny and his crew at acsi.tech and check out the career section to start an exciting new career in the communications industry. Go to acsi.tech, that's acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today and get your summer in gear. Don't forget to check out the Shy Native Radio podcast, now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, and Throw MC talk about sports, movies, and all types of ill shit. Go and check them out, and if you get a chance, and if you are a musician, go ahead and submit your music. If they like it, they'll play it. If they don't, you'll never hear from them again, so don't worry about that.
Sounds like Facebook.
That's exactly what it is. Special event coming up in August 13th, Music in the Woods Music Festival. This is in Des Plaines, Big Bend Lake. This is a really cool location. It is a little island in the middle of the lake right there in Des Plaines. It's off of Bender and Gulf Road. They are doing a big music festival. Ideal, Mike, Logic, Fury, Green Lights, AM, Early Morning, I Am God. There are so many acts going up there. Sounds by DJ Hunt. Go and check them out. Check out idealraps.com. Go and get your tickets. We're going to be there, so come out and say hello and say what's up and hang out with your boys.
Yeah, this is an all ages event. A ticket is needed for ages of 12 and above. Food vendors and merchandise vendors will be on site for food and clothing and all types of cool shit they'll be selling.
All types of ill shit. Shout out to Ronesh, Panic, Serious Beats, and custom made for the beats we play on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your Mole Men merch and gear. Don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify. Hit the DMs with your stirring the pot ideas, your show recommendations, and just tell us what you think about the show. You can also reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all. For Big Z, for Shawn Sierra, I'm E-Rock. We will see you next week for episode 101. Until then, be good to each other.
For the love of sports.
Swish.
Moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth.
Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. That's all. I shouldn't have had those artichoke poppers.